these idiot kids, all you history buffs listening, you know what I'm talking about? You got that reference. I mean,
He just laid down on a slab and just died there.
That's a great one, Tim.
I got nothing.
That's a great one.
it's like, my name's Zach Bowman, and you know, I just
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another special edition of A to Z Movie Night. I am one of your hosts, Tim. Next to me is my co-host, Chris.
Hi.
Zach is here.
Hey.
As well as Aaron. As
Hey, well,
always.
yeah, you know I'm here, boy. You know I'm here.
We got a very special guest tonight. Special guest, Bryan Castino.
Howdy,
is with
y'all.
us.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what up?
In the
My
studio
dude.
for the first time. And he picked this movie, which I'm excited about. This was a good one. And this is also our first foray into superhero territory. Our first superhero movie. Tonight we are doing X-Men: The Last Stand.
So, Tim, from what I understand, y'all are gonna rip this movie.
Yeah, well, we picked
Apart?
this, and Bryan picked this one specifically because we picked it for a reason, because it is
I hate
not,
it so much.
Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, we hate it. It killed the X-Men franchise for several years until they basically did a reboot, with First Class. So yeah, we're gonna rip into this movie. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
I'll drop a little knowledge on you if you've never heard of this movie. Never mind.
Save it, Chris.
And
No
we're
one
off.
fucking listens.
Go for it. Go for it.
X-Men: The Last Stand is a 2006 superhero film based on the X-Men superhero team introduced in Marvel Comics. It is the sequel to 2003's X2 and the third installment in the X-Men film series and the third film of the X-Men quadrilogy.
Woo, good job!
Thank
All right,
you.
3, 2,
As always,
1, and
we are
cheers.
at 20th Century Fox logo.
I would
Cheers.
just- Cheers, Prost, Solange. I would just like to say how very well read that was.
That was very well read. I liked it.
Well read.
Fuck y'all.
I
I'm
felt
glad,
your
I'm glad we
anger.
didn't skip that. So right off the bat, Bryan, what do you want to say? What are your opening remarks on this film?
Just what I keep saying. Like, the last time I saw this was with you in theaters, and I walked out and turned to you and said, well, that's good they aren't making anymore. And I adore X-Men. My first tattoo is a Dark Phoenix tattoo.
Yeah.
And I,
Which, for the listeners, if they don't understand.
You want to let it out that you have tattoos, bro?
oh, shut up.
If the listeners, if they don't understand, the Dark Phoenix, this movie is loosely, very, very loosely based around that storyline, famously written by Chris Claremont
Very
in the
loosely.
1980s. Me and
And also-
Bryan are
yeah.
huge fans of Chris Claremont. I'm gonna have to name drop that I met him a couple summers ago, and Bryan met me on the side of the road to hand me some Dark Phoenix comic books to have Chris Claremont sign. So this was a very.
I still don't know.
Would you say Dark Phoenix was probably your favorite storyline from the comics, or one of them?
oh,
I
definitely
don't
one of
know
them.
comics, and that's my favorite, just from the cartoon.
Yeah, they did it. They did a story arc in the X-Men the animated series, which was one of the best cartoons ever made, next to Batman.
But even the one they mixed with this, the Cure storyline, is by Joss Whedon. It's so well written. It has that banter of like
Joss
Buffy.
Whedon wrote the arc on the comics?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
And they mixed these beautiful stories and made this really crappy movie, and it angers me.
I think they
Yeah.
tried to shove too much, as usually happens by the time a third installment. They just tried to shove too much information, too much going on in this film.
Not even Nolan was safe. Dark Knight Rises
think
had a
you're
little
doing
too
the
Yeah.
much going on, too.
Yeah. Spider-Man
What do you think
3.
about the CGI Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen?
the CGI Botox?
Yeah.
Can you come down?
Wait, did they make him younger in this?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
look at
it's,
Ian McKellen. He looks like
Oh,
a fruit.
yeah.
Looks good.
it's pretty.
Is it CGI they did?
Yeah, the
it's-
de-aging.
Yeah. It's a filter.
Is this the one where they go back in time?
No.
No.
That one is. That guy looks like
after
Adam
they
West.
kind of restarted it, kind of restarted it.
Actually-
fake ass face.
Actually, their de-aging actually looks better than
For the
like,
2006.
It looks better than the bar
It looks like he
system.
took his photo with like a Samsung phone or something, right?
Oh God, shut the fuck up.
The Instagram
Nobody
filter.
cares about your iPhone bullshit. But like you remember in Civil War whenever Tony Stark was using the barf.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like I think this looks much. I think it looks less Uncanny Valley-ish to me than that one did.
This is here comes the obligatory cameo
Oh yeah, there we go.
right there. Get Stanley out of the way.
What's weird to me about this scene is in the comic book when Jean was a kid, her best friend died in a car accident, and because she's
like, I hate cars.
Because she's telepathic, like she like felt her death.
Yeah.
And that would have been a beautiful way to create dissociative identity disorder,
Oh, wow.
like they try to do with this movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
To feel that loss so personally and almost maybe possibly,
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
They
Jesus fucking Christ.
this was the first movie. Bryan Singer did the
yeah.
first 2 films, and he did them very well. This was the first one he did not do. He left this movie to do his passion project, Superman Returns, which didn't do well.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, but is it bad or did it not do
Does
well?
this
It
not
wasn't
creep you
bad.
out with
It
the whole
wasn't
thing
bad.
with Bryan Singer?
Well, this wasn't Bryan Singer. This was directed by Brett Ratner, who was
That
very
guy.
very
Yeah.
famous at the time for the Rush Hour films.
Yeah.
Warren, try to keep up, Zach.
Yeah, this guy's trying to saw.
Wait,
he's
what?
so ashamed of his power. He's trying to saw his wings off.
He was trying to saw it off with a fucking lemon zester. Are you serious? Let me think of like
Is
the
that
best way to
supposed- is
take
that
off an
supposed to be
appendage.
Angel?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
supposed to be Angel. And another character they really just I never understood like why they even put him in the movie, the way they deal with. I mean, this is very tragic. I mean, the writers and Bryan Singer and everybody, you know, you can use the mutant, how mutants are hated and feared. You can use, you know, minorities,
social
the gay
commentary
community.
and all that.
Yeah, I mean, that little boy, look how that dad just looks so ashamed of him, and why, you know. I always love their intros, though, too.
Yeah, they have great intros.
And this does get a good start off when these credits end. They throw us right in a really, I think it was just basically a fan service.
Yeah,
The
right in the
danger
queue
room.
thing.
yeah.
What is this thing they're developing?
This is the cure.
Cure for mutantism?
Yeah, the mutant gene.
There's so this Brian, you being the expert, this kid that we're going to reveal later, who was he was actually a pretty prolific kid actor at this period. He was in a bunch of these movies with his little bald head. But is that like he's in the comics?
Yeah. He's one of the Morlocks, and so is Callisto. And it's
He's a Morlock, huh?
Yeah, and they're these groups of weird-looking mutants that hide in the sewers.
Yeah, they don't have awesome, cool, like, I can shoot flame from my hands powers.
Right.
They have like
bullshit-ass
disfigurative and they're
powers, yeah.
gross and they're freaks.
Well, I remember whenever they were promoting this movie, I was excited because this was supposed to be the introduction of the Sentinels.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and
And,
they
that's
then
why
it isn't.
they got you all hype about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they get a little
fucked you
teaser.
right up with that.
Yeah.
This is a little homage to when it said the not too distant future at the bottom. That's a little wink at the Days of Future Past storyline, which was just some fan service.
They've done a really good job at like rebooting it, but still keeping it, you know, canon like the original 3.
Well, that's
Like,
what's really awesome.
It's pretty amazing what they've done. Like they've done an incredible job with
I
keeping
think it was
X-Men going.
absolutely brilliant when Bryan Singer came back for Days of Future Past. He made it a time travel film, and it basically went back and fixed all the bullshit from
Right,
this
yeah.
film.
He did.
I mean, he erased basically this film by changing the past.
Yeah,
Because he was like, "Fuck you, Brett Ratner."
And for non-comic fans, retconning is a tradition in comic book industry.
Yeah.
Fix the things other writers did.
Yeah.
And
You
comic book
see
movie
people
industry.
in
Time travel is a very good tool to fix something.
Multiverses.
Bring people back to life, you know, that died. So, you know.
DC's version is, you know, Flashpoint, basically.
And what did they
Crisis
call
on
this? The
Infinite Earths,
fastball
too.
special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a very famous thing that they would do in the comics. They called it the fastball special in the comics. Colossus would just throw Wolverine at something.
Even this is kind of a letdown, though, because, like, how did 6 X-Men not take down 1 Sentinel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it jumps to like a really shitty looking set that like they used it, you know, on Mortal Kombat or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Class dismissed.
Oh.
They turned these characters into pun factories, too. Especially Magneto later on.
Oh, it was a class?
Yeah.
Damn it.
As a
the
VR
danger-
simulation.
Well, that
you
was
know?
see, that was fan service right there. People freaked out. They're like, "Oh my god, we finally got to see the Danger Room." They hadn't done that before in the other movies, so that was kind of like a really cool
See,
thing.
dude, I don't know anything about the X-Men comics.
I'm
Like,
not very
completely
knowledgeable either. I grew
out
up
of
with
my
the
element
cartoon.
here.
Well, that's just their training center where they can come up with scenarios. And all.
We all grew up with a cartoon.
Cartoon's
If
the
you
way,
close your
yeah.
eyes and think about it, you can still hear the theme song.
Wow.
You got a problem? Talk to Scott.
He's like, "Hey, I wasn't even supposed to be here. Scott didn't show up." I like the idea that Wolverine is a substitute teacher. I think that's cool.
Scott's
Now,
all
what's Scott
being
doing right here?
Fucking alcoholic and shit.
It's fucking
Why does Scott
sad
look all mopey?
Cyclops.
Because Jean in the last movie, she, from their perspective, died to save them at the end of the last movie.
So he's mourning Jean Grey right now. Yeah, who sacrificed herself at the end of X2 to save the team.
And Superman Returns, the movie we brought up earlier, unfortunately. Well, I'll wait.
You know what? No,
I keep trying not to jump to.
You know what?
Yeah, we
fuck
won't
it.
jump too far
Nah,
ahead.
let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about how James Marsden is he's the fucking side bitch in every movie.
He is the side.
He's
bitch
the
in every
side.
movie.
He's the side hoe in X-Men.
Yeah.
He's a side hoe in Superman.
Yeah.
He was a side hoe in the goddamn Notebook. Like he's like the pretty, like guy with a high moral compass who always plays second fiddle to some other guy that's like kind of not that great.
He's even that on TV shows. That's weird.
Yeah, that's his thing. The only movie
But
that
that
was
jawline, though.
He's
Really
handsome,
weak.
dude.
Very formidable.
Very
He's
weak.
really-
I mean, look at Hugh Jackman.
I mean, he's rocking the shit out of those glasses.
Time for us to move on.
Ruby coating, by the way.
Yeah.
Y'all know what you know what his power is. You know what his power actually is? Like his Cyclops' power keeps getting retconned. Do you know what
Well,
it
he's
is?
Oh, yeah,
dead.
'cause it,
He's
like-
dead right now in
Yeah,
the
he is
comics,
dead.
too.
He is dead right
yeah.
now.
But I mean,
But like how
yeah.
it comes from a different dimension. I
Yeah,
think was the
it's
last
like-
retcon.
It comes from like the chaos dimension or something,
Yeah.
where the whole dimension is just chaos energy, and he opens
So
that
he
little
just-
portal.
So he
There's
just sprays chaos in people.
Yeah.
From a different. It's actually pretty bad.
no, it wasn't. No, at
That's
first it was
cool.
a kinetic dimension where everything in there is like there's no potential energy, everything's kinetic.
So he just shoots black holes.
No, he just shoots like he just
pure raw energy.
He just opens a dimensional
Pure
portal
energy.
behind his retinas that are very tiny and doesn't rip his head apart and blasts things with kinetic force. Bam, cram.
The best thing this film probably did was cast Kelsey Grammer as
Oh, hell
Beast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He is the best beast. Like,
yeah,
just-
an inspired choice, and it.
Lost him crossing the border.
And there is Bill Duke, famously from
Hell yeah,
Predator.
from Predator.
Breaking
And,
Playing, he's playing. Remind me the character's name.
he's
Peter
Henry
Dinklage.
Peter Gyrick in there.
Well, no, Peter Dinklage ended up playing him in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be Gyrick and
your
this,
presence can hold.
which makes the whole thing make even less sense. But
I thought he was. They call him. What was Peter Dinklage's character's name in?
it's Henry Peter Gyrick. Like it's. Don't try to straighten
This
it
is
out.
the
No,
X-Men
no.
guy.
I think I've been mispronouncing the character's name for.
I'm just saying
30
it. I'm just
years.
saying it like they say it on the animated series.
Yeah.
Tried to kill me, you pathetic meat sack.
I like her a lot. Mystique.
Yeah.
She really is my favorite.
I don't like how when they cast Jennifer Lawrence as in the other ones, they made her like the leader of the X-Men, and she's like
Yeah.
this mutant savior, and she's a bad guy. Like, I don't understand why they do that.
You don't want to play
She's a
games.
real bad guy. Yeah.
You are going to stop this.
Rebecca Romijn famously despised
You want to
getting into the makeup
Yeah.
because it was
I'm sure it was insanely
very
uncomfortable.
painful. Yeah, I mean, she's naked. It's all body paint. And
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I like the way
Yeah.
I like the way she delivers that
Yeah.
line.
You know,
It's really weird. I don't understand why anybody would. I don't understand why any.
does give us some diplomatic.
I don't know what you call them. Homo mutanus or something like that. Like something that's not a.
Homo
not a
superior.
Yeah, it's Homo
Homo
superior.
superior.
Homo superior
I
is
don't
what they
understand
call
why
it.
they would like be
Homo
shit talking
superior.
Homo sapiens. It's not like we go around like bashing Neanderthal. It's like we're like,
Well,
I'm glad they're dead.
Well, Magneto and they feel they are the next step in evolution. They
That's some-
feel like
Yeah,
they're
but
better
that's
than
some
Homo.
racist shit.
Well, is that? But it even makes less sense when you think about the fact that they can make viable offspring with Homo sapiens. So they're clearly not a new species.
Right, they're
Yeah.
not a new species.
Well,
at all.
and also
Yeah.
a major
Ooh,
part of Magneto's
scientific.
a major part of Magneto's backstory is that he was in Jewish, concentration
Holocaust.
camps,
Yeah.
Holocaust. He watched his family get murdered, and he despised that and Hitler. And I mean, that's like his main thing.
So he's gonna fight
he
racism
kind of
with racism.
becomes a Hitler-esque type of character
Yeah.
with the same kind of "we're better than you" like Hitler did with the the Third Reich, and he was going to have this perfect race of people that and.
Mutants
Magneto over the
are
years
superior.
kind of becomes that type of character. I mean, he's obviously not as maniacal.
Well, I mean, he always looked kind of German. Magneto did, right?
Well, he is German. He's a German Jew.
yeah.
Oh.
Invisible line.
He's a German Jew.
I believe this scene is the first time we see.
Was it?
I
That's
didn't
in
know
there.
the
she
first
was in
version
this.
I
of
didn't know she was in
Jubilee.
here.
I thought that was in the first movie. I can't remember.
Was it the first one?
Einstein wasn't a mutant.
She didn't have a speaking role, but you see her sitting in one of the classes.
Now, this case study was sent to me by a colleague, Dr. Moira McTaggart.
I used to always love these scenes, though, because I loved trying to pick out who I thought each different mutant might be. Every time they were in the school, I would be looking to see like who might be in the background.
Oh yeah, because the list isn't in this one; it's in the second one. There's like a list on a computer screen.
That computer screen where you see Remy LeBeau and all sorts of people. Yeah.
So Peter Dinklage's character was Bolivar Trask.
Bam!
Bolivar, sorry.
Bolivar
You
Trask.
said don't try to get it straight. I knew that was wrong.
Calm down, Tim.
Oh, drinky poo?
Would you like a drinky poo?
What are we cheers?
We're cheersing to Bryan
Oh, let's cheers
for his
to...
first appearance.
No?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
cheers to
our
his-
new guest.
Our new guest, his
Yeah.
first appearance.
Hopefully,
cheers to Bryan.
Hopefully, the first of many.
Cheers to the Jameson brothers too.
See this free shit, Jameson.
Everybody made a big deal about Halle Berry's new haircut in this one.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but people flipped out about it. And they gave Storm a
Is
lot
it
more
because
to
she got
do.
white girl hair?
They gave her a lot more to do in this movie
She's
than
mixed.
the previous ones.
I know.
Oh my god.
In the comics, she's married to Black Panther.
I know. I was wondering,
Really?
Brian, what do you think they're going to do? How
could
long do
get
you
Halle
think
Berry
it's going to
back?
take before T'Challa and Storm hook up?
Yeah, because I think that'll.
Who's the new Storm?
And I must protect
Well, none of that's been casted yet at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not finalized till next year.
No, it's finalized.
They said in January it officially goes through,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they can actually start
Oh,
having
okay.
talks. And
So, they're like full recast, right? Like,
Oh, yeah,
Hugh
definitely.
Jackman's gone.
Well, let's try not to be too date specific because I don't know when this is coming out.
I don't specifically know. I can't understand how they're going to retcon that shit in the MCU. The MCU's so tight.
Yeah.
It's
that
gonna
if
be
they try
hard.
to throw mutants in there now, that's my.
It wouldn't make sense.
That's the biggest thing.
Should probably
And-
be kept separate.
And Brian knows this.
no,
about
because
me.
one day I want the
Yeah.
X-Men versus
Yeah.
the Avengers.
No, but Brian knows this about me more than anybody because this is what I bitch about. Because
Yeah.
X-Men is his favorite, and I love Marvel. But the thing I hate about Marvel the most is that like the Marvel universe and the X-Men universe are almost treated separately,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
together. And I can't stand how separate but integrated they are.
Yeah.
The continuity just drives me
Unless they do
fucking
crossover
crazy.
episodes.
It's
yeah.
like I can't stand how the mutants are a second-class citizen, but people can like
progress on that.
think Ben Grimm's okay. Like he's a fucking human rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, the argument is because these could be your kids. Like your kids could just be mutants, and you wouldn't know.
I always
until
thought
it's too late.
the kid plot point where
guess
it's
so,
like
yeah.
they're children, or it's like your kid died, or you had to go save your kid is always a big cop out.
Magneto's not the
It's like
just
the fridging. It's fridging. It's fridging
to
but with children.
Get a
Human
reaction.
That's what
beings-
Arrival did.
Human beings are protective of their children.
Yeah.
It gives you a connection to
It's a
Zach, we don't
It's a
have
simple
kids,
move.
so we don't know. Okay?
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have
so-
kids.
permanently.
So they're talking about this cure, and I can't get over that they got Kelsey Grammer to like sit in the makeup chair every day for that. That had to have been fucking.
Yeah, because he's in a lot of scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
He's
he
His
was
face
real
isn't
busy.
moving at all, so
He-
it has to be mostly.
he had
makeup.
to be miserable.
He's in most scenes.
Well, I mean, if Alan Cumming didn't want to come back because of his,
That was a
makeup-
shame that they didn't get
Wait a
Nightcrawler
minute.
back for this movie.
You know what?
okay.
What do you
and
mean?
he didn't want to. Right?
Nightcrawler's not in this one?
Yeah, it was like an issue because of the makeup. And
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to do the
when it-
makeup again.
When they finished it, he wasn't in enough scenes. But I'm like, you have people who
I
don't even
remember him
talk.
being my favorite
He was
character.
awesome.
Yeah,
in the
Nightcrawler's
first
the
few.
best.
Here, so let's get it out there. Who's your favorite? If you had to,
It's a toss-up between Nightcrawler and Beast. I don't know.
yeah.
X-Men of all time, or just in the movie? What do
No,
you-
just
No,
your
X-Men
your
in general.
X-Men.
X-Men?
Oh damn, dude!
I mean, when I was
What's
younger,
yours?
I loved some Gambit. I just thought Gambit was
yeah.
so damn
Yeah.
cool.
Gambit's one of my
And of course, Wolverine.
Well, how do you feel about the Channing Tatum? That
yeah,
could have
I'm
happened.
down, man. I love me some Channing Tatum too.
Okay, cool.
What kind of coward would take it just to fit in?
I always pictured him kind of taller and lankier.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Do you think that this X-Men or that this will ever be redeemed on the level of like Marvel?
Well, no, I mean, part of why I wanted to do this was because they're going to release the other Dark Phoenix movie.
Yeah.
I just saw
Yeah.
a trailer for that. Didn't even know that
It's coming out like
they were gonna
February,
make
dog.
it.
Like
It's already
Logan,
done,
Logan came
pretty
out,
much.
and Logan's a huge departure from this
Yeah, definitely.
shittiness.
It's a alternate possible future.
yeah, but it's like they're actually putting out quality X-Men films now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I really liked. What was the last one that had Day?
Apocalypse was awful.
Yeah, Apocalypse
Days
is
of- I didn't see
ridiculous.
that one.
Days of Future Past.
That was a really
that's
good
the best
movie.
one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
that
really
was a
good
really
movie.
good
Apocalypse is the only one I haven't seen.
That's when Bryan Singer came back from
Okay.
Days of Future Past and retconned it, basically.
Yeah.
I guess would be the best way to say it. I mean, yeah, went back and changed things, and then they.
I mean, X-Men. But that's good though. One of the X-Men movies was so bad that it made Ryan Reynolds make Deadpool happen.
yeah, the first Wolverine.
You know, like
Because Wolverine Origins is so much worse than that.
So horrible.
This led us into Origins. though.
It's fucking horrible.
This set us up for Origins, and it was fucking awful.
Let's finish our little exercise, though. Chris, who's your favorite X-Man?
I grew up watching the cartoons, so I didn't really read the comics, so I was a basic bitch, man. It was Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Gambit.
There's Psylocke.
My three favorites.
Oh,
They
yeah?
just put a little purple in her hair, and that's
Oh
supposed
my
to be
God.
that's supposed to be fucking Psylocke.
That's supposed.
Yep.
What?
And she doesn't have her mutant powers. She has this power to travel through shadows.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
she got when they saved her life at some point in the
yeah.
mid '90s. And it's like, I don't understand this. But
Zach, what's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
X-Men.
Yeah.
There's so many different teams and so many different people that have been members over the years.
Like the top
it's hard.
three, man. It's like
just-
Gambit for sure. I always like Cyclops.
Yeah, that's cool.
I went to
That's
a
rare.
Cyclops
I like
I don't
that.
know why. I don't know why. Like he always
I never
got
liked
just
Cyclops.
fucked off, and he was such a little bitch. But I don't know. I always liked that. He was so
He was
cool,
the daddy's
man.
boy. He was the
He was
suck
so
up to
fucking cool
Charles.
though. Like he took them shades off. He's usually driving a sports car. Like
or motorcycle.
nah, yeah. Like I like Cyclops. I like Phoenix too. Like she's
You are a Cyclops, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you really are a Cyclops.
you are
I'm
kind
a
of
why?
Cyclops.
You just are.
I'm a bitch.
No, you're maybe you're
Cyclops
like the
and a
leader.
bitch.
I don't know.
Is Cyclops
I'd
the leader?
Now, if I'm choosing just film-wise, this original three, if I'm
Oh,
Jansen,
film-wise.
I'm going Jean Grey.
Well, yeah.
I'd have to say
She has my
Storm.
whole
If we're
heart.
talking about the girls, I mean Storm or Rogue. Storm just because she's so fucking powerful. I mean, it's hard to like. She gets downplayed.
No, she's Omega level. Storm's Omega level.
Omega level. Eventually, yeah. What a dumbass, stupid
What a
fucking
dumb bitch ass fucking power.
What do they call you, Porcupine Man?
What a dumb bitch
I would
ass
love to
power.
see,
He's like, mess with me. Look at
It
these
sounded
needles.
like a fart
Yeah.
whenever they stuck out.
It's so bad.
So
I'd love to
terrible.
see Pinhead come around the corner and be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Just
I'm a
headbutt
fucking
him.
porcupine.
He
Look
just
at that.
headbutt him.
All right, since somebody asked me, my favorite's Extreme.
Sorry.
Aaron,
Oh yeah, you do love Extreme.
I love Extreme.
It is
No,
such an injustice that
Yeah.
he is not the third Summers
Well,
brother.
he is a third Summers
Yeah, in
brother.
my heart, he's the third Summers brother.
Well, I love
Well,
the
I remember
Summers. I
this
love the
scene.
Summers siblings sort of thing, but that was halfway a joke.
So-
I do love Extreme a lot.
What-
But my number one favorite all time is actually Iceman. But
Okay.
but I do love Extreme.
What
that's kind of a
locale
joke.
does
kinda
this
not.
fucking movie take place?
California, because Magneto messes with the Golden Gate Bridge later on.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so they're just working their way down because they're in the mountains, right?
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
extreme.
They're probably driving down.
Mr. President. Shut up.
I love this Phoenix. I wore this shirt because it's older than both of you. This is Jean's daughter, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel Summers,
Oh shit.
who was a standing member of Excalibur for a long time.
Yeah.
hey, wasn't Spider-Man an X-Men at one point?
No.
No?
He joined
No, that's-
the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that was
for-
kind of creepy.
No.
Yeah.
Storm
No,
even joined the Fantastic
No,
Four.
Chris is
for a
thinking
while.
about the right thing. The Paradise Earth whole. There was four things. It was Earth X, Paradise Earth. It was a separate thing.
Well,
but
there
it
was a Super
where,
Nintendo game where Spider-Man teamed up with the X-Men.
No, I'm talking about where Spider-Man was a mutant. There was
But it's like in an alternate reality.
There was a separate thing called Paradise Earth
that was dumb.
where it turned out that like every single like sort of metahuman was actually like a mutant.
Well-
if you were a mutant, that's cool, but it turned out that like everyone was a mutant because aliens like did engineer ass
because
shit
of
on
aliens,
us.
of
Yeah.
course.
Because of
I
aliens.
just,
Because aliens.
friend of
there-
mine
from
who's
that,
a
it's-
diehard Spider-Man
but it's
fan
a really
at one point was
famous-
like, yeah, he was an X-Man.
No, it's
at
a
one
really
point.
good. There's a set of four
kinda left out
big
that.
graphic novels. There's like it's like Earth X, Paradise Earth,
Yeah.
Infinite Paradise. It's like four sets. It was actually really really good. It got really convoluted though.
This actress has been in a lot of movies too.
Yeah, I love her. I love
her
voice.
voice. Yeah,
Oh, she got that scratchy voice,
her
right?
voice is fucking
Oh, I
awesome.
saw her in something recently.
She was in one of the Blade films.
Yeah, but it was something new. Something that it was.
She always. Like,
Oh, she's in The Expanse.
oh, the
She's like an ambassador to the Earth in,
Oh,
the,
nice.
in The Expanse. That's right.
See, this kid in the comics like looks reptilian,
yeah,
and so he has to hide with the Morlocks. He can't turn it off. Like he just
Yeah.
automatically turns off people's powers.
And
So that's what he does.
So this power for mutants, most of it's a good idea, because for somebody like Beast, he sees the potential to look normal again,
Right.
right.
and that's very intriguing to him. I mean, but like morally,
Well, he's a scientist.
yeah, morally he has to grapple with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not right. But God, look at he doesn't remember the last time he saw his hand look human. Same thing with Rogue. Somebody that cannot have physical human contact with somebody.
She can't get down and dirty.
To be able to do that.
You know what he reminds me of?
Very
in this movie?
enticing thought. I mean, would you do it? That's a very good question.
He's like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
He is Neil deGrasse
But see, like, people like, oh, yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Like, he has that same personality.
It's your boy.
But there's people like Storm.
Oh, look at him.
Look at him on a motorcycle.
Harley Davidson, baby, with a big
grimacing.
X on it. I bet they put that motorcycle out whenever they released this film. And they probably put more effort into that than they did into this film.
There's probably like only 3 ever made.
That's a Harley Davidson 1200R. There's a lot of them out there. Just so you know.
He just says that because none of us can argue and tell him that he's wrong.
No, that's what it is.
That's
1200R
that's
is the
an
name of the
RC
BMW
1250 bust dual combustion. They made it fucking for 1 year only. None of us can say you're full of shit. So
Tim doesn't even know how to change a tire.
I know how to change tires.
Do you?
I know how to change my own oil, Buster.
Buster.
I'm very proud of that.
Was a
Apparently.
little kid.
Now this scene pissed me off. When we went and saw this, this scene made me want to walk out of the theater almost.
I guess I'll take this moment. When this happened in the comic books, Cyclops and Phoenix have butte sex.
What?
Sex on a butte. And
How?
Thank you, Zach.
They
Sorry.
have sex
Sorry.
on a butte when
Why are you
she's
saying
dead?
boat that way?
and she can control his powers, whereas he cannot.
Ah.
Which she is about to do. She's about to just turn off his power.
Yeah.
She's about to turn it off?
Well, is it? There was
yeah,
one
that's
point
right,
in the
yeah,
comics, didn't she find out that she could control, like he could take the glasses off, and if she,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
she,
about.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
controlled
Like
it,
right at the beginning of the Dark Phoenix saga, they go to Angel's Chalet or something.
Yeah.
And they go to this butte. And
Angel,
they
dude,
make love.
Archangel. Why did I not say Archangel? That's my new favorite.
Yeah, Archangel. Good
Archangel,
choice.
because he was a billionaire playboy.
Philanthropist.
He was a baller, and plus he got with Psylocke.
But
This
it's
is a
supposed to
rip off
reflect-
Iron Man or something, but with mutant powers, right? Did they just rip each other off back
Well,
and
Iron
forth?
Man's just a
only
rip
so
off of
many ideas
Batman,
up
so, you know, there's that.
Damn, she's so hot.
Yep.
Yeah, when she
Old
came back
Femke.
in this one, where her hair was all super long.
Did you guys watch? Did you
Nip,
watch?
Nip Tuck? Is that where you're about to go? Because that's
No,
where my
I
mind
wasn't. I wasn't going to
Hemlock
Nip Tuck,
Grove.
but yes, I was going to say Hemlock Grove.
Hemlock
'cause
Grove, yeah.
that was
No,
her.
everybody tells me to watch
That was her peak of sexiness to me.
Well,
to
season
me.
1, great. Season 2, pretty good. And then stop.
I never saw season 3. I didn't watch it.
Because
When I went to the Fan Expo in Dallas back in April,
Yes, please tell us all about it.
she was supposed to be there. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
She backed out a couple days before, and I was really bummed about that because she was like on the top of one of the people at the top of my list. I really wanted to meet her.
Interesting, quick little fact about Hemlock Grove and her character. She speaks in the most ridiculous accent in season 1.
weird accent,
And
yeah.
then
Isn't it like a
and then-
southern
and then
accent?
and then they
It's
retcon it. In
supposed to
season
take
2,
place
she
in-
talks normal.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so in season
Are
1,
you
she has
fucking
like this
kidding me?
fake, weird, like...
Usually that happens
British
in the
types.
pilot, right? Like
Oh,
the
no.
pilot, they do
They go
it
a
and then
whole
it changes.
season.
They go a
Yeah.
whole season.
This is
See,
what Bryan
like-
was just talking
yeah, this
about.
happens in the comics, and it's like this beautiful moment to show how powerful she is.
She just closes his portals.
And also in the comics,
And he opens
one
her
thing that's
portals
really
up.
cool. He later ends up dating.
Heyo.
He later ends up dating another
pussy
telepath
portal.
called Emma Frost.
That
Oh
sound
yeah,
nice.
for sure. I
and
know
they
all
have
about that
like
shit,
psychic
boy.
sex scenes in
Oh,
the
yeah.
comic where they like telepathically make love.
So she just killed him. Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, yeah. She just
She just like ripped him apart.
and
like
Charles is feeling his
psychically.
death basically.
Well, they all are.
Yeah. It's this huge outburst of energy.
Yeah, just to cover a little bit of the comics,
energy.
Cyclops can't keep his dick in his pants, and
And he's got a thing for telepaths
yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
Which I would stay away from the telepaths.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. We
Yeah, well, they
look,
get in your head, and
look,
there's some shit up here.
I know, but we all know how emotionally masochistic we are, and we would love it. They'd
Well,
be like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're a fucking piece of shit. I see your
Yes,
mind."
you
And we'd be like,
yes.
dirty little piece of shit.
and we'd be like, "Oh,
You're
please,
dirty.
I'm like, punish me, please.
I've been a bad boy.
I deserve it.
Just love me, please.
I deserve it."
Have sex with my mind because I love women for their minds, and I love a big,
We know that.
beautiful
About you.
mind.
I think we all know that about you, Tim. That
Yeah.
the only thing that matters with you and women is their mind.
Yeah. Hey, my.
Like, do they mind if you?
All right, back to the movie.
So gravity doesn't work at this lake anymore.
Yeah, she's kind of fucked all.
Yeah, she's
shit
fucked up physics in this area for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, she's
transdimensional, or like what is her like power?
No,
like what is
Phoenix is transdimensional.
What is
or
Phoenix?
something.
I'm talking about
Phoenix
Phoenix.
is
she's
Brian, you take this
she's
one.
like the ultimate telekinetic.
She's a god.
Yeah. Like later on they say she can adjust the atoms in an object.
Okay,
that's how powerful.
But it's not actually.
We're talking about the Phoenix Force.
The Phoenix.
Like,
the Phoenix.
No, I don't
the Phoenix
care
attached to
just the
Jean
whole
Grey
thing.
because of
What
her,
that shit
her
did.
ability.
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie version. I mean, in the comic book, she could just destroy the Earth or recreate the Earth.
It's the most powerful
she's just
thing.
The most powerful being
ever.
in the X-Men
as far as I'm
universe.
concerned, right in the Marvel universe.
In the X-Men universe, she's the most powerful being.
Yeah.
The Phoenix is not her.
She could destroy the universe, basically.
No, in the Marvel universe in the comics, like the Beyonder is more powerful than her.
Yeah. I guess.
Well, yeah, but it's
her.
Man, them Oakleys though, right? Lifetime guaranteed.
Yeah, man.
Get thrown apart, destroyed by dark matter,
Molecule
and
Man,
you're
he's
fine.
I
The
really
Oakleys.
wish he would put those on his head to be like, these are totally my glasses now.
Oh yeah, and I guess I should have brought up like why the reason they killed Cyclops was so he could go be in Superman Returns.
Yeah.
And you will see 2 other examples of something along those lines later on.
Yeah.
And Superman Returns was Bryan Singer too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan Singer bowed out of doing this to do that.
To go do that.
And he brought what's his face with him, Marsden.
But apparently,
So
Fox,
was James Marsden like on the boat with all those little boys that he fucked? Was that
That happened like way back.
Was that what Bryan Singer
From
did?
what I
Was he
understand,
like?
Bryan Singer came on to several underage boys.
Is that what he did?
Facts, but it was on
It was on a
no,
boat.
I
I think Bryan Singer was like, okay, I've fucked all the
I think the
Marvel
Kevin
little
Spacey
boys.
thing was on a
Let me
boat.
go see what the DC little boys are like, so I can go fuck them on a boat.
think it was Kevin Spacey on the
And he
boat.
makes sure that he knows his maritime law too. He makes sure that he gets like
It's
fucking
international waters, man.
8 miles out
They can't
into
prosecute.
international waters before he starts fucking little boys.
That's what's so fucked up about it.
I know.
That makes it.
We can't do
premeditated.
anything about it. We're like,
Yeah.
Bryan Singer, you make okay movies, but we can't prosecute you because you fucked those little boys out in the middle of the ocean. So
Well, he was going to direct the Freddie Mercury biopic.
Well, you got to separate the art from
And
the
they-
creator.
Right. Yeah, he was going to direct the Freddie Mercury movie that's coming out, but
Was he?
they kicked him off when all that stuff started coming out in the news.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, he would have been close to the source material anyway. Like,
Yeah.
he would have known. He would have known what the fuck to do.
I do kind of appreciate that they made Charles Xavier an asshole because Professor X is a dick.
Dog, he is like
Yeah, so many
sociopath. right?
times
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Is he?
he
Yeah.
I thought he
controls.
was just a
Yeah,
nice old
he's
man.
been muting her
I always thought
powers
he
for
was well-meaning.
years. He's been basically controlling her for years.
I mean, I don't think she should be allowed to kill him necessarily, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still horrible.
No, like
Yeah,
the whole
there's several
Cerebro
times where
thing
he's a
is the
dick.
biggest. It's the biggest fucking like
Invasion of
privacy ever conceived. He's like, with this device, I can locate anyone on the earth at
Yeah.
any time.
Yeah.
And then just like what it should have done in that sort of little montage of going through people, it should have saw like a lot of fucking people just jerking off,
Weird shit,
and like
yeah.
doing weird shit. And then he's like, you guys, don't worry about that. Like,
Yeah.
we're looking for this mutant right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about everybody jerking off.
Yeah, wait,
And
wait,
then
wait, go back.
Somebody should
What
turn
was
to the
that?
professor and be like, how often do you use this machine?
Yeah.
What are you doing with this?
You spent a lot of hours in here alone.
Is that Connie Chung?
For this cure, well,
I love the argument pro
Worthington
Magneto,
Labs,
though.
which is
Professor X hides that he's a mutant, even though he fights for mutant rights, whereas
hides
Magneto just walks right in like, look at me, I'm a mutant.
yeah.
And there's something about that.
Yeah, there's that. That's
Yeah.
that big difference between the two,
well, they
right?
Sorry.
no
I shouldn't have said that. Never mind. I don't know.
No, I was,
no,
I was
no,
saying
you should
yin and
have said
yang.
it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
true.
Batman and Joker, you know.
Yeah, but, well, yeah, Magneto's not 100% an evil person. I mean, he still respects Charles, and I
Right.
love that back and forth.
I do too.
I mean, there's been times where Magneto in the comics has come in and led the X-Men.
Well, same thing as Bane or any other
Right.
big character. What was one we did recently where they feel fucking guy in Infinity War,
Thanos.
like he believes
Yeah, but
truly
Magneto
this
is
what
not,
needs to happen.
not on
Magneto's not on that level.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes Charles can get through to him and make him like stop some kind of maniacal plan. Sometimes Charles put him in a fucking psychic coma for years. I mean, Charles is a dick.
I like how this actor like kind of acts like a bird. He's kind of like
This actor
twitchy and-
actually
He is kind of bird-like.
Is that Ben Foster?
Yeah,
That is Ben Foster?
He was in
No
310
shit.
to Yuma. He was
Wow.
in
No, he's great in westerns.
yeah, he was awesome in that. He was in that 30 Days of Night movie.
Well, he
Oh,
worked,
he's also in a movie
he worked
that was
the
made that was
fuck
like a
out in
Texas
this one.
based
Shit.
movie.
yeah. He was
Wow.
I like him.
I can't, because I didn't recognize him because he's done so much more since then.
Yeah.
You know,
And
this
he looks
came out in
really young.
2006. Yeah.
Man, what a dickhead fucking dad, dude. He's like, look, I'm tired of these wings. You're a fucking embarrassment to me.
They're testing it out. He's testing out this drug on his own son.
What a dick.
Hey, man. It's not natural.
Well, you know what? He's a fucking politician. You know what?
Is this like
all I can say.
this is like an allegory or for,
Yeah, this is a good allegory for-
gay
yeah, yeah.
reversion therapy
Yeah,
where they
and a politician with a gay kid.
yeah
It is.
exactly.
This is Mike Pence, basically.
This
That's
is-
what
yeah.
everybody's saying, yeah.
So this is a big thing if you think about it. Like the metaphor.
And he just stretches his wings like,
that mutant,
fuck you, Dad, I'm proud of my wings.
Well, we talked about it before we started recording. Yeah, he's like, take me for what I am. Fuck you, Dad.
He looks like Ben Foster looks like if you took Eminem and if you fucked the guy from Linkin Park that killed himself, and that would be Ben Foster.
Chester.
I love how you had to throw in the one that killed himself because I don't
There's
know any
two
other
of them.
member
There's
of the
two of them
band.
in Linkin Park. There's
Oh,
two of them.
two of them killed
There's
themselves.
the dark-haired rapper
Every-
who sings, or he's the one that raps, and
No,
then
he
there's
hasn't killed himself.
Yeah,
Foster's
that guy does melodies.
dad, Foster's dad, who does the.
That's Chester.
He does
Actually,
all
well,
the
everyone-
Chester
singing.
Molester. He's the one that
Yes.
killed himself.
Everyone
see-
that's sung for
Okay,
that
let's
band
get
has
away
killed
from Linkin
themselves.
Park. Let's get off of Linkin
So-
Park, for fuck's sake. Angel was a really lame character until Apocalypse got a hold of him and gave
made
him
him,
the,
like,
the
definitely.
razor wings.
What was he? He was like war?
I mean, sure, that's cool. You could fly.
He was death.
He was
Yeah, he
death.
was death
Oh.
of the Four Horsemen. This is actually a cool scene.
This is
one of
this
those.
is all very
This is
cool.
one of these few moments in this movie where it's just awesome. You just see how Magneto is
Powerful,
so
yeah.
powerful he could just toss his hand, and
Did you see his little mouth? He was like, "Whoop."
and I think it's really funny because he doesn't have to do that with his hands. He can just do it with his mind. Like how one
Yeah.
thing about
It's a little showmanship, I
Well, the
think,
one thing
though,
that
you know?
really bugged me, Brian, I don't know if this ever bugged you, with James McAvoy's version of Professor X.
That he does this?
He always does.
He does,
so that
yeah.
so that the audience
Yeah.
knows he's using his
Yeah,
powers.
yeah.
I hate that he always put his two fingers on the side of his head just so that we know that he's doing
Well,
it, which is
audiences
just
have
not
become
necessary.
dumber. Like since
It's only
this
because
movie.
Well,
we
because
get
they have
spoon-fed.
invisible. Their power is invisible. You know.
Yeah,
It's-
because even in a comic book, they show like a pink
Yeah.
hue or a blue hue or whatever.
which is our giveaway. Yeah.
Here, look at me. I'll show you right now if I'm reading your mind. Watch.
Did you find what?
This is also a
That's all you need.
Aaron just squinted for the listeners.
Well,
That's
we were
it.
just
That's
talking
all you
about,
need to know. Like,
We were just talking about Magneto a second ago about how he can be a decent person, but he's about to do something right here that I was like, oh damn, you cold as hell, Magneto.
Yeah, but even anyway, I'll get to it whenever it happens.
Yeah, when it happens, it was like, damn, dude.
oh, multiple
See,
man.
and this
Multiple
is like
man.
the
That's
Yeah,
that's
they
a character,
fucked
huh?
him
Multiple man.
He was
yeah,
an X Factor,
Like, God, I
dope.
love multiple man.
He's
so
fucking
much.
dope, dude.
Yeah,
but they fucked him up in this movie.
Welcome to the Brotherhood.
That's a pretty sweet power, right? So he can spread out like how many of them?
Dude, like
As many
infinite
as he
or
wants.
something.
As
yeah.
many as
you
he
know
wants.
what's
He's never reached.
You know
the
what's
limit.
really fucking
Are
cool
all of
about
them
his
just
powers?
as physically capable as the main
I think the
one?
more he has, the weaker they get. Is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that. Yeah, they start to like fade.
Still though, the things you could accomplish.
yeah.
Yeah, I could gangbang somebody by
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
I was talking about cleaning
the
the
most
house and
famous
maybe
fucking
mowing the yard,
amazing.
Aaron.
You
God
can
dang,
gangbang
man.
yourself.
You could gangbang.
You can
yourself?
literally gangbang yourself with
my
10
God.
other yous.
and it wouldn't be gay because it's just
Dude,
masturbation.
that would turn Aaron on so hard if he had like six Aarons fucking him.
6? I'm talking about 60, dog.
Anyway, X-Men.
This is it.
For the listeners, I'm narcissistic.
Super bad rubber outfit on Vinnie Jones here. Yeah. This right here. She steps in to defend Magneto. Bam! Pyro done gone full dark side.
See, this
See,
is
the
when we
dart,
know.
the dart hit Mystique.
Damn,
And
girl.
she's losing her powers right here. And then what does Magneto do after she just saved him from letting it happen to him?
You saved me.
Now let me toss you aside,
Damn,
like
she
a
looked-
piece of trash.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm sorry, my dear.
Cold-blooded.
You're not one of us.
You're not one of us.
have
Cold-blooded.
rock
Yes. But even that is because she was on another movie, and Fox wanted a May release date.
Yeah, she had to leave because
Did
of
she have her
shootings-
own movie?
shooting schedules. No.
Who was it?
Oh, a shooting schedule.
Jennifer Lawrence basically came when
It
they
was
brought
like,
it back.
um,
Like she's now Mystique. Like she'll.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter. Whatever the movie.
So let me
was.
ask.
Not what
Brian,
you were saying.
I gotta ask Brian a question because it's kind of confounded me for a while. Like, so
What happened on that
old boy is like Charles Xavier's stepbrother, and he's not even a mutant.
He's not a mutant.
And he's
Cain
like
Marco is his
and he's
name.
like got his powers from some stone or some shit.
The Macron crystal.
Which is like-
Am I pronouncing that right?
No,
No, that's
Crimson Gem of Sidorak.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Y'all are speaking some crazy
Sidorak
shit.
is like a
Who are you
god,
just talking
and
about?
I'm thinking about
if you touch the gem,
Shatari.
you get his power.
Not
What is he like? The god of
The
momentum or
Shi'ar.
something?
The Shi'ar
No,
Empire.
but it's his bands of strength or whatever.
He found it in a cave.
Yeah. Because they were in the
cave
Korean War
crumbled
together.
around him,
Okay,
and he
but-
was trapped. Like, Juggernaut doesn't have to eat, sleep, drink water, like nothing. He's just like, when he got that crystal, it turned him into that. He is not a mutant in any sense.
There are two beautiful what ifs, like alternate realities. One of them.
So like, why do they
Juggernaut
not
succeeds.
like recognize each other in the movies though? Like if they're
Because they're
stepbrothers,
Well, no,
fucked
because they didn't
off.
go with
'Cause they
that.
didn't
Like,
go
they
with
told
that
us
story.
as
They made
characters.
him a mutant.
Like-
They didn't make him brothers.
Juggernaut in one of the alternate realities kills the X-Men, and they have a nuclear war, and he's the only thing left on the planet alive.
Juggernaut?
Because that's how powerful he is. That nothing can kill him.
Dude, see, okay.
He's gone up against the Hulk before, and I
dude,
think
I don't-
once he actually kicked the Hulk's ass.
I don't know shit about comics, right? But the one thing that's always fascinated me about comics is like watching the movies and like getting excited about them, the characters and the lore, and looking up how powerful they are because they're never represented as powerful as they are
No.
in the movies as they really are. They're always these cast-off characters that are a difficult character for a second, and then they. Pass them
That's
off
what I was
in
saying
the
about
end.
Storm earlier.
But-
She's so much more powerful than
that's
what
the
they
thing. It's
show
like,
in these
I'll
movies.
get on Google and I'll start looking them up, and I'll just realize that they're the second most powerful character
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the entire series, and like the
Yeah,
whole,
well, like Iceman.
That's
He's
always,
Omega
that's
level.
Always, that's
Yeah.
always been so amazing to me, though. Like, there's just so much behind all of these things, and they haven't been brought into the film.
Well, Bryan Singer apparently wanted to power them down.
Yeah.
have to.
But if you see Storm later on, there's a scene with her in this one that she's so much more powerful than in any other movie
No,
except maybe Days of Future
But
Past.
it's the thing is what
It's
you were
finally
talking
blown
about.
Well, it's like
Well,
with Thor and Ragnarok.
Well,
They didn't
no.
finally show how
No,
Thor
here,
could
here.
just be so badass until like
With-
5 movies in.
But
Yeah.
with retconning, there's the thing. That's why that all these characters that you see on TV that are the most popular ones, usually there's like 40 of them, are because of retconning. They can have been that powerful, but now they're not so
Yeah.
important anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
retconning it solves problems, but it also causes more problems in the end.
Well,
Yeah.
because if you make him too powerful, then who's the villain they're going to fight? How powerful is he going to be?
And
then
at one point,
and
they
then when
were
you get
that
to a
powerful,
sequel,
but-
where
yeah.
do you go from there?
Exactly.
At some point, you're blowing up planets, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, because the Superman problem, like,
yeah.
I mean,
He's all powerful.
He's just
Yeah.
too
It's
strong.
too much.
He's
Well,
too strong.
the only thing that kept him from killing Batman was because he was so good, right?
Bullshit.
yeah, and kryptonite. Hold on, that's another episode.
yeah,
For
y'all
another-
probably need to rip that one
That's
apart.
a
I don't know
whole
anything. I don't know
show.
anything. I don't know anything.
No, hold on.
But you defended that in ways that I really appreciate.
Yeah, oh yeah. There's a
me
lot
and
to
Tim,
defend in that
me
film.
and Tim go to bat
Me and
for
Aaron,
fucking
yeah,
BVS.
I'll stick up
we
for that
are,
movie.
We're fucking
I still
BVS.
haven't seen it.
Look,
I
I'll
still
go
haven't
to
seen it.
bat for
Okay, hold on.
Batman.
We're getting off.
It's
Well,
fine.
shit.
It's been like
We're gonna get
20
off.
seconds.
Cheers.
Well, this is a big moment, right?
What are we cheersing to?
She's
Tom K. Johnson.
No, wouldn't he?
she's using his love of her against him. Right
Fam.
here.
Cheers to
Just like a woman.
Just like a
Cheers
woman
to
would.
women being women.
Fucking woman.
Feminism.
No matter how powerful they are, which, spoiler alert, they're always very, very powerful.
You think she's wearing contacts there, Brian? Her eyes are very deep and dark there.
Yeah, her eyes are pretty dark.
It makes me wonder if...
But she does have very dark eyes.
You need to tell me what happened to Scott.
Hold on.
See, that's one thing about like any
Did we
version
not
of the
start?
story.
Did we not start this movie off with saying how they did the CGI on their faces, and you don't think they could brighten their eyes up a little bit?
Well, no, I'm just saying they
darken
made...
them.
You
well,
think they're
they're
gonna get
making
her to wear contacts?
her pupils. I mean, look at that. I think they probably did that on purpose.
It's like all pupil. Yeah.
to
yeah,
kind of
for
let
sure.
us know
she's
that
the Phoenix. Yeah.
yeah, she's kind of not all herself. She's got
You would
this...
never do.
Y'all never
simple,
dated a bipolar chick? Come on. It's the most fun you can have.
I married one. Hey-o!
Hey.
Oh, good night, y'all.
Good night.
That's why your eyes look
But
so heavy
you
all
would
the time.
you would never
Zach.
do like a simple CG trick when you can easily do it with contacts. No one.
Yeah, well,
no
I've
one on
done
any
that.
movie set would ever do that.
I'm just
If you have a
I'm-
budget of like $500 million,
All I was
then
saying
you're
is, do you
gonna
think that's their natural eyes, or do you think they did something to it?
Oh, yeah.
Contacts or CGI?
Except for
green
one
eyes are
movie.
really rare.
You know,
Except for one.
Chinese girls do not come with green eyes.
Except for
that's
one
a whole
movie.
other can of worms that you're opening.
The only movie I can think of where they do like CGI effects where they easily could have done like something
we're gonna
analog
talk
was
about
Green
it.
Lantern. That was it.
Have y'all done that movie already?
No, not yet.
What movie?
Big Trouble.
Ooh,
Cannot
no.
wait for that.
No, I'm excited for that.
We almost stopped the podcast the other night just
did
to,
it.
just to put the
We really
it,
said,
yeah.
fuck this movie. Let's do evil.
No,
let's
I relate it to you more than any other movie.
You guys look at Rocky right now.
Is this movie that bad?
Oh,
We're
so
talking
they
about the
haven't.
dog now.
They haven't done it yet because he's like moving that gun around with his hands.
I thought they were plastic.
So that's what I was saying. I guess they haven't done that yet. They're like, wait, fuck it, Magneto. So yeah, they change it and they make it all plastic.
You know what's my biggest criticism of Magneto though is
This is where
like
Callisto comes in, and they never call her by her name.
What were you gonna say, Aaron?
I was gonna say my problem with Magneto is that he has powers over every metal, not just ferromagnetic metals.
Right.
I'm like, how the fuck are you moving things magnetically with their non-ferrous metals?
Well, no,
I don't understand.
The best part is in the 60s.
How high are you right now, Aaron?
In the 60s, he has
That's a
a
callback.
That wasn't that
magnetic
funny.
That's called a
personality,
callback.
and he like takes Angel's
He can
parents and-
control your magnetic personality.
Yeah, like he has a magnetic personality and controls Angel's parents in one issue, and it's like I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think.
Well, I remember, like
Personal
the
magnetism?
most fucked up display ever was when he ripped the adamantium out of
Yeah,
Wolverine's
definitely.
body through his pores.
But I
Yeah, I
don't.
mean, he can rip the iron out of your blood. You know.
No, I mean they show that and you know what? Like iron is a ferromagnetic metal, but it's actually been proven that no matter how strong the magnet is, it can't do that. But I mean
He's not
that's another
magnetic.
thing.
Oh wait,
It's just like-
he's Magneto.
Now we go.
See, I don't
Oh,
know
that's
shit.
why they gave us
If
the
it's not
flashback at the
if it's not
beginning.
iron, nickel, or cobalt, it's not affected by magnets.
Oh, only those.
This fucking
That's it.
Colonial
That is
Street.
it. That is the only
the Burbs
ferrous
house?
magnet. Like,
So those are all lying on the periodic
Oh
table.
man,
tonight?
that's worth checking out. That might be right.
so the only things that are magnetized are like except for neo. Except for rare earth magnets. Except for that.
I'd love to
So,
say edit that
well,
out,
he can-
but
well-
Zach's the one that did that.
So when we first saw this,
probably won't.
Brian, I
I love this scene.
liked this scene
Yeah.
for what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, is that?
yeah,
Vinny
that's-
Jones. Yeah, that's the brick.
Holy shit!
That's why it's horrible. He's fucking awful.
But again, comparing it
Makes a good
to
leather
the
daddy,
comics, I think, is where I get kind of like
Yeah.
yeah.
When I looked at this scene as just a standalone, okay, that was pretty cool. Like, and I think only because like I'm a big home theater buff, and when I would watch this scene like in my surround sound and everything, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
But as far as the subject matter and what's actually happening on screen, it's so just like. I mean, I get that they're trying to go, holy shit, okay, she's maybe unsavable at this point. I mean, look what she's capable of doing. And even this little, how you even see Eric, Magneto,
You know, he thinks you're
feel bad.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, 'cause he does towards the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
shouts out Charles,
Yeah.
you can tell he's like, "Fuck, I didn't want this to happen."
Yeah.
And there is a powerful moment in there, and even when Wolverine cries out when he sees it, and there's a lot of good acting, I guess, going on. That's
Yeah,
a,
but
that's
this
a
is
credit
when-
to the actors, but fucking it's just absurd.
Yeah, this is when she's at her best throughout this entire movie.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the actors are concerned, this is a really amazing scene.
Yeah. But like I said, like if they made like an alternate personality rather than it being still her, I don't know. I'm confused by choices.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christopher.
I can help you. Look at me.
Get out of my head.
Because was there a
Perhaps you should listen to her, Charles. You must
see even now?
danger to everyone and yourself, but I can help you. I want to give her the cure. Look what happened to Scott.
So Eric's probably trying to push her.
Yeah.
He wants to see how far her powers can go.
Yeah.
But
But then he immediately regrets it.
Yeah, because he's like, oh shit, I just opened a can of worms that I
Yeah.
can't close.
But unfortunately, this is such a badass fight. Like,
They kind of display that Juggernaut is unstoppable.
yeah. But I love that.
Yes.
Storm, you're
What's
awesome.
he gonna do? I love how he pops the porcupine things out of his face. Like, what are you gonna do? She's fucking a god, practically.
And especially
And he was
this.
like looking all tough. Like,
Yeah. Because the fight between Callisto and Storm is such a comic book thing.
Yeah.
And they had the X-Men animated series episode with it.
Yeah, they even do it in the animated
Yeah.
series. Yeah. I love that effect shot where Wolverine goes through one and then a stuntman comes down the other side. The music right here. I think the music is what
Definitely.
sells it. Even though you realize what you're watching is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's still a powerful moment. And then with the CGI they did on her face, and his too, obviously.
And their face-off is very reminiscent of the comic.
Because they're battling in their minds
Yeah,
right there.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't, like, try to create some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, really, like, futuristic graphics of, like, them fighting on the astral plane or something.
Yeah. Where everything goes black and
Yeah.
you see them, like,
That would've
physically
been-
fighting
that would've been
somewhere.
cheesy.
Yeah. Which has been done in several other movies
Yeah.
when they try to do this.
But, God, whenever he's lifted up.
Knowing that he has always been considered the most powerful telepath on the planet.
Yeah.
And she's just fucking owning him.
Yeah. See, I think the thing I kind
Even
of...
Charles, with everything he's got, can't...
I think the thing is, I wish she would have had a bit of flame to her. I hate that they never did that in the movie.
Maybe like something around the eyes or something where... It's so silly.
Yeah.
This where like when he comes around and he sees it happen. But even there, like what you're saying with the flame, with her hair blowing around, it kind of looks like flames around her head.
I just find it weird because they made her so with a flame in the last one. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of tore me up, actually, when I saw it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That music.
Yeah.
The music right there sells this scene. It makes it very emotional.
Aaron, you have a computer in front of you. Who scored this film?
Hey, can we take
No one
guesses?
cares, but
can
I'd
we
like to
take
know.
Well,
guesses?
usually I know these things, but I don't think it's anybody.
I kind of figured none of us did. So
I'm a big.
God, this is beautiful.
Hans
John
Zimmer.
Williams
it's a
or
cool
some
shot.
shit.
Her
When they
hair
do that
like blowing in the
slow-mo
wind.
and all the glass as it flashes past his face,
Don't let it control you.
that's when you're like, oh yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, you don't control me.
It was
Tell me what-
composed
Yeah,
by
this-
John Powell.
The smile.
John Pell.
Damn.
So he's been killed how many times in all the X-Men movies?
Twice.
Twice.
This
So
and
it's only-
Logan.
Logan, yeah.
But
Spoiler.
that Ian McKellen right there, when he yells out Charles, he's like, "Fuck, what
He
have
does-
I done?"
Yeah.
He's like, "What have I done? I've opened Pandora's box."
He doesn't seem that sad about it. He's just like, that's kind of a bummer, but we're gonna keep going.
No, well, he's sad. I mean,
Well, he
that's-
has a Balrog to
they've
destroy.
been friends. They've been friends for 40 years.
Sorry, I watched Lord of the Rings today.
Like all of them.
Just Two Towers.
Oh yeah,
good one.
your Chucky Harry Potter thing interested me to death.
I had no idea that was the same guy. I had no clue.
How did you not know that?
I have no
Wait,
idea.
who?
That's
I
what
didn't
blew
know
my
that.
mind about it.
I didn't know
it's
he
the
was-
voice of Chucky.
He's the voice. I had no clue, and I
didn't
could
know
not
that.
believe that I did not know
Isn't that
that.
crazy?
The first film he was ever in was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
17 years old.
Was he the cuckoo?
It was Danny DeVito's first film too.
Chad Nicholson. That's what I've always wanted to do, just for the mental health
That's a
aspect.
classic episode.
It's a great movie.
I don't want to watch that movie again. I'm sorry.
I love that
We're
film.
gonna do a month of mental health.
We'll do regular.
Now, that sounds like a very boring month.
I don't have the fucking energy for that.
I'm gonna be crying on the
We'll do
podcast.
Yeah,
Joe
for the
Dirt.
listener, it's boring, but
Joe
for us,
Dirt.
it'd be very therapeutic.
Let's do Shutter Island.
Oh,
I was
like
gonna
this
say, what are
chair's
your
empty.
examples? Like,
Now I believe Professor X has died multiple times in the comics.
Twice.
Yo,
definitely.
hey,
maybe.
I'm
Well,
selling that chair on eBay, dog. You don't need no more.
Wasn't that a cover of a comic? I want to say, like it was just his empty chair, and it was like R.I.P. Charles Xavier or something like that.
Man, fucking Ellen Page. You guys know I have such a thing for Ellen Page. It's weird.
I
Really?
can't stand her.
Yeah, I just.
She has
Is that John
tiny.
Cena
She has
right
like.
there on the right?
She has like little 10-year-old girl hands. Like I don't know.
She just
There's
has small
something creepy
hands.
about that.
Lots of women have small hands. They're women.
I don't
They have
like
small
it.
hands.
Well, Brian, what were you going to say about? Ellen Page
The
earlier?
weird thing I read earlier today. Apparently, Brett Ratner outed Ellen Page on the set. Like apparently they were having
being gay?
like
Oh, yeah?
But she didn't come out publicly like
for a few years
later.
after
Yeah,
that.
years
after.
So she had no rights.
Until after like Super.
Yeah. That's pretty fucked up.
He may be gone,
I don't know. I just
but his
got a thing for her. I like her.
live on through us.
Look at her. She's pretty.
I mean, she.
I mean,
yeah, she's,
apparently
she's
she doesn't
pretty.
give a shit about you, though, so it's all right.
Of course she doesn't. No one does.
she's a great kitty. I love her as Kitty.
United.
She's a better kitty.
Yeah,
she's a better kitty than Anna Paquin as a rogue.
She's a better actress than anyone else in this
Anna
film
Paquin
but Hugh Jackman.
Fucking
Yeah,
huge mark.
And
You're forgetting Patrick Stewart.
She is the best actor in this film. Okay, Leslie, whatever's Nielsen or whatever.
Leslie Nielsen's in this, yeah.
She is the fourth.
He played Everyman or whatever that mutant was.
Fuck this. I want to address something y'all said in the beginning.
He played Dracula and he was loving it.
I want to address this. You guys, Brian and Tim, y'all were like, how'd they get Kelsey Grammer? They have fucking Patrick Stewart.
And
no, I'm not saying you.
Also, what the fuck was Kelsey Grammer doing? Fraser ended and he disappeared.
No,
They tried to do that one
hold
thing.
Hold on. This is one thing that really pissed me off about this movie was because she's supposed to be with fucking Colossus.
There is that. Hell, they just got married in the comics.
Oh, congratulations to them.
It's been a long time coming.
Apparently, Chris
I don't know why
Claremont-
the fuck I wasn't invited.
This is the
but
weird.
whatever.
This is the weird part.
I've been there
Chris
since the beginning.
Claremont wanted, like, he tried because in the '80s you couldn't write a gay character. He wanted her to be gay for Rachel, like they were going to be a lesbian couple. And so, like,
For
I
Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, and I love that,
Rachel?
like the actress who ended up portraying her ended up being a
Right.
lesbian.
Ended up actually being. That's really cool. Well, that's what we were talking about, the metaphor of homosexuality and the mutant and why it's nothing to be ashamed of, but somehow they are outcasts. Like, we were talking about how Iceman...
This place can be...
how Iceman, this character
Yeah.
right here, in X2 actually has a coming out scene to his parents where he tells them he's a mutant.
That he's a mutant.
Yeah.
And his mother looks at him and says, well, you ever thought
God,
about
this is
not
the
being a
most.
mutant?
This is the most Twilight shit I've.
This is stupid.
This is where they got.
This
This
is
is where they got
stupid.
Twilight's half of their scenes.
This should not be in the movie.
Bullshit.
Half of their scenes. Somebody saw this movie, it was like, oh, what if we made them
That's-
vampires?
This with Wolverine.
Hey,
and
genius.
vampires.
Were any of y'all ever like? All right.
This is so stupid.
Not
Come
knocking on if any of
Right.
y'all are fans, but were any of y'all drug? I was drugged to one of the actual like Twilight, like
Yes, I was.
movies, like when it came out.
I was drugged.
There
to
was-
Twilight
Are y'all
Story.
right now?
I'm being dead
Fucking
serious.
man.
I was drugged
We
to
had-
it.
we had
and
girlfriends when you didn't,
We're talking
so-
women.
that's right. I
We're
wasn't gonna
talking.
I'm pretty sure I had a girlfriend
gonna
and
lay
didn't see Twilight.
Dude, we're talking women from
Okay,
60 all the way down to 12, and there is a vibe in that room.
It was very strange.
There was a vibe in that theater, dude. I had to get out of there.
It was really moist.
I had to get out.
I remember being looked at a lot. It was very strange.
This,
I'm not sure why.
He could be a vampire.
This is the scene.
Were you sparkling? Did you put on glitter? Put on glitter.
This is very. I mean, if you listen to the dialogue,
God, look how young Hugh Jackman is.
She has a neck thing. Did Vampire Bill from True Blood bite her?
well, yeah, y'all are talking about how Famke Janssen did a horrible.
She looks
accent
older than Hugh
in
Jackman does
Hemlock
now.
Grove.
No, hers is bad.
In True Blood, her Southern Cajun
it's bad.
accent is fucking god
bad,
awful.
yeah.
I watched one episode of that show and was like, nope,
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, but at least she tried. I find it weird that the X-Men movies are so anti-accent. I don't know, like Banshee.
Yeah, because
and
she
First
is supposed to
Class.
have a Southern accent
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's a Southern belle.
Yeah.
I mean, Gambit calls her that all the time. Yeah, you're right.
don't know why you keep telling me the things
Yeah. Good Lord. And he's all like, oh, say blah, 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 blah.
He's like, honey, child, you need to...
I'm French Canadian.
You look stressed
baby
out.
girl,
Let
baby
me
girl,
put
you
the
just need
kettle
to
on
calm down a
for you
little bit.
real
You just
quick.
need to calm down.
I am going to say this, though. It is so fucked up that she wants to remove her powers for a guy she's dating. Because
Well, that's
really
what
what it
Wolverine
feels
says
like.
I mean,
to
dude,
her.
yeah.
No,
Well,
every
Wolverine
flashback
says-
to
It's like, why did
Wolverine
it take a guy for you to finally
No,
not
hey,
want
No,
this?
hold on. Wolverine says, he goes, hey, man, I'm your friend. I'm not your daddy. Do whatever the fuck you want to do, but just make sure you're doing it for yourself, not some boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, look, not every like whenever they introduced the character in the first movie they introduced her, remember that.
This looks like Twilight.
Her first setup for her entire mutant power is her kissing a boy and almost killing him.
And almost dying.
And it's like her entire power has been presented to us as this sexual
curse.
thing.
Well, it's
That's
also
true.
a curse.
That's
Or
true.
just or not being able to be
and
close to somebody
I
on a
don't blame that
romantic
on the
level.
comics.
Anyway.
The comics probably did kind of have like
No,
a
we're
sexual.
just
She's
talking
a
about
girl.
the-
and she just wants
yeah.
to love thing.
Well, no,
but
like
like
that-
the movies, that's only the way that she's been presented.
Well, that's the thing.
Right.
Like when we were talking about it earlier, when Beast looks at the kid and goes, "Oh wow, that's like." So like Storm is like, "Fuck that! Don't take that thing. Like, why would y'all do that? Be proud of who you are."
Because she has an awesome.
And then,
power.
they're like, "Yeah, it's easy for you to say you're a fucking god. You can strike lightning at people's asses."
And hot.
Rogue is
And
like,
everything.
"I can't
hot.
touch a boy.
Yeah.
I can't touch a boy.
can't even get laid, motherfucker."
Yeah,
Like-
I can't even fucking kiss somebody without nearly killing them. Like it's
Yeah.
easy for Storm to say, "Don't take the power." So
It's not fair
That's,
because-
that's what they try to set up. That it almost kind of tears the team apart.
It's not fair because a pedophile should have been cursed with that power.
What are you trying to say, Brian? I see you over
Good
here trying
point.
to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, on the other hand, though, Rogue could take anybody's power. and that's kind of cool in itself.
Yeah, but temporarily.
Right, she absorbs it for
Isn't
a little
it
bit.
temporarily?
And she never uses it to
Unless
any
she
good
holds
measure
on to-
in the
Hold
movie.
on.
Yeah, y'all are the
No,
X-Men
hold on.
guys.
Never
Like,
use-
I'm learning right
Bryan,
now.
follow that thought.
Okay, because unless she holds on to them until she absorbs all of it, because Carol Danvers,
What does
who
she
is
have to
going
do to absorb all of it?
well, like, okay,
Basically kill them, right?
Yeah, basically. But Carol Danvers survived because in the comic books, okay, Captain Marvel.
And who is Carol
Captain
Danvers?
Marvel, which comes out in March.
There we go.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay, Rogue
For the uninitiated.
Yeah,
Did we kill a
yeah.
ball of
Rogue
Gina?
absorbs her powers and her psyche.
Indefinitely.
Yeah,
Shot for the third.
Yeah, what Brian's saying is she absorbed Captain Marvel's powers pretty much indefinitely.
Did not kill her, but
That-
still has all of
That's
it.
why Rogue can fly and
Oh,
has
wow.
super strength.
Yeah.
Because she absorbed those and that's it. Is that the only time that Rogue ever did that?
I like this.
Yeah, that's the
Can
only
we do
time
this
Rogue-
That's the
off
only
mic?
time-
This is like I'm getting schooled on some X-Men
That's the only
knowledge.
time Rogue ever did that and actually kept the powers of a person indefinitely. That's why she can fly and has super strength. But she basically had to nearly kill her to do it.
Oh yeah, she like she even had a lot of her memories and would like
They're like out there in the woods.
Okay, we're almost to the second
something.
act. Let's do a cheers. What are we cheersing to?
Living
What
like
happened in the
a
movie that we got to cheers to? The collection of the forces. The forces have gathered.
the forces have gathered.
Forces have gathered. Cheers to that,
That don't
story
make no
point.
sense.
Somebody take the shot glass away from Zach.
Best that it end with him. We'll have to tell the students that they're going home.
Most of us don't have anywhere to go.
Shut up, Bobby.
I can't believe
My favorite character, but fuck you.
I can't believe we're not going to fight for this school.
Yeah, he does have a very awesome moment towards the end of this film.
Oh,
What,
yeah.
what else does
that was
kid
like
in?
never happened in the previous ones, and when it happens, you're like, "Fucking
That
finally!"
was a big payoff, yeah.
Yeah,
He's so badass in the comic.
This was a safe place for
yeah, he's Omega. I actually have.
Well, he could-
and I had dropped off for several years, and every once in a while I pick X-Men comics back up again. But several years ago, I read that Bobby. Now they've brought back the original team from the past.
Yeah.
So there's two versions, and I think it's the past Bobby Drake has come out officially gay. and
Oh,
I went,
dude!
I went and
Yeah, he
bought
is,
the
yeah.
comic
Dude,
because
he's
I was
the-
like, that's going to be a
Dude,
collector's item one day.
Bobby is the guy from Animorphs.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Oh,
nuts.
really?
Yeah. He's like the main dude in Animorphs.
Got it.
Well,
Oh, I thought y'all all knew that.
no,
I
no.
never saw that show.
Well, I will
What?
say,
He
I was
looked
too old
familiar.
to
That's
watch it.
crazy.
I will say, I fell in
I don't
love
think he
with
ever did anything
reading.
after this.
That was more
I
my
know of.
time.
I
Yeah,
fell
he
in love with
died-
reading
he
comics.
Died soon
died.
after the filming, yeah.
In real
Yeah,
life,
because he never did anything else other than that.
are you?
What? Shut the fuck up.
Call back.
Damn,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's good. Usually
No,
I'm the one.
but to get on
Everybody
a
take a
real level,
drink.
I fell in love with reading comics only like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I grew up in the heyday of comics being at their best, and I did not read them whenever they were coming
Always
out.
loved the
Oh, yeah, a
idea
little-
of
So I've
reading
asked
comics.
you,
Yeah.
Brian, and I've asked him and other people, like, where's like the best like little
Age of
starting
Apocalypse.
point?
Age of
Where's the best
Apocalypse.
little starting point to get into
good
X-Men?
question.
Like, what's a good
Or I'd
like,
say
spot?
when they brought in X-Men #1.
That would be a
When-
good.
yeah.
That would be a good.
That's it.
question.
I think
really
that
good
I think that's actually was my
What is it?
introduction.
Yeah.
What is
But,
it?
I mean,
Brian,
Well, there was
what
always
is your
Uncanny
perfect moment
X-Men.
to come in, like if you're looking to get into X-Men.
That's
Right.
what we're saying.
Fuck this movie.
Because
man.
I genuinely
Let's get to it.
wanted
Let's get
to.
it.
Because
yeah, but like if you read really old stuff, it's so simple. It's kind of easier to digest.
yeah,
But just
Yeah.
right off the top of your head, what do you think?
This really Dark Phoenix Saga.
Dark
would be a good
Phoenix?
place.
The Dark Phoenix
Like,
saga of
includes
the
so many-
comics.
yeah, it
Whenever Chris
includes so many
Claremont came
characters.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the
Or
he's the
Days of Future
legendary
Past.
X-Men
Well, I mean,
guy,
really,
right?
like, see,
he's,
like I said,
his
like I said,
era is
I didn't
apparently
have-
the
I-
best or renowned
yeah.
as the
Well,
best.
I have no idea about X-Men.
Yeah, I know.
the most idea I have of X-Men is watching the cartoons, and the cartoons, from what I know and what everybody has said, has been renowned as like pretty accurate, top level,
Yeah, it's-
top notch cartoons.
It's a beautiful condensed
Yes.
version of the story.
and that was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest moment of that cartoon, just like Dragon
the
Ball Z
cartoon
and the Cell
did
Saga.
Dark
or
Phoenix
whatever.
Saga better than the movie did.
It
It's when
was the
Jean Grey-
Phoenix Saga.
Yeah, for sure,
And that
for
made a majority of like what made that cartoon like great, and that
Right,
was really
right.
the end piece too.
Well, I think the Dark Phoenix Saga was the
Yeah.
biggest story they ever did.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the saga.
It's almost like
For
well, it's
sure.
why Batman and Joker is always brought up. The
Yeah.
biggest stories that have ever
That's
been told
their,
involve
that's their
the
most
Joker.
famous story arc.
Those are the biggest arcs.
And then maybe the death of Xavier and Age of Apocalypse might be the second one.
Yeah,
Just
Age of-
because they changed all the titles.
Well, Age of Apocalypse, if you love the 90s, it's just so 90s.
so good.
It's so 90s.
I
Everything
am
about
loving every bit of this. This is the nerdiest episode we've ever
Yeah,
done.
they go. Yeah, Charles
This is the
Xavier's
nerdiest
son
episode ever. I
goes
love
back
it.
in time, tries to kill Magneto, accidentally kills Charles, and Magneto starts the X-Men, and it's just this huge. And oh man, it's
Wow.
Girlfriend.
good guys are bad guys. Beast is a bad guy. Cyclops is a bad guy. Wolverine and Jean Grey finally hook up. There's so much crazy shit. Colossus goes crazy.
Well, I still haven't popped my cherry on X-Men comics.
This is very...
I'm waiting for just the right one, you know.
This looks like a... What you say, anti-abortion protests?
It kind of does look like
gay
that,
marriage protests, or...
It does look like... It looks like the crowd outside of a Planned
anti-immigration.
It looks like
protests.
the crowd outside of a Planned Parenthood. It really does.
Damn, how conservative are you, Tim?
I'm just saying that's what they're.
How many more protests
like.
Can you
Jesus,
name?
Everyone you named was like a liberal protest.
Out there.
You know what?
You just named a bunch of liberal protesters. You just said they were bad people.
Listen, Zach, let me tell you something.
I'm saying.
Those are the only examples he gave.
The people standing outside of Planned Parenthood clinics saying you're going to go to hell. Those are bad people. Those are the bad people.
Well, let me tell you, little boy, something right
God
now.
God hates fags, peoples. Those are the bad people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's
look,
the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about Westboro level.
The only ones
you're saying
named.
That's a decent human being.
No,
that
all
owns a
right. Whenever I asked for examples, Tim, I didn't mean it.
Well,
all I'm saying is if these protesters had jobs, they wouldn't be able to
pay
be
the big bucks.
If they would have jobs, they wouldn't be able to be out there protesting.
That's why y'all pay me the big bucks. Because fuck those people.
We're
fuck
definitely
Westboro,
we're a
like,
segue.
Really?
We're getting away from this.
Yeah, but I
don't understand.
I want to
why
bring up a
y'all
you
are
story.
agreeing
Can I
with
bring
me
up a you
100%.
story?
Hey,
The what story?
A you story about Batman.
About
the theatric
Oh,
production.
Can I draw this back?
No, please do. Please do. I want Brian to bring up that story.
What story?
The Batman theatric production that we did when we were.
Oh my God!
Can we say this for Batman?
Brian and I were
Can we
actually.
say this for Batman? Because I want to have
No,
Brian
no.
back.
I want to know this. I want to know what he's
Brian's
talking about.
Brian and I
wonder what he's
actually
talking
went.
about.
Brian and I actually went to the same elementary school.
Yeah.
Between 1st and 4th grade.
This is the deep
and
cut.
during the summer, like my parents worked full time. I guess his did. So
make a long story
we were
short.
basically we were in summer school.
Wait, when did Batman Returns come out?
Can we save this for Batman?
Okay, so it was summer.
You're trying to cut off what's already happening.
I'm not.
Okay, summer of '92.
Tim wants to get back to the movie.
All right. Brian is here.
Okay, all right. I was just gonna say summer.
This is our story is better than this whole fucking movie, so I don't know why
It's
you
true.
care.
I mean, it's true.
Why the
It's
fuck
true.
you care?
Summer of
This is the
'92.
real shit.
But
Summer of
basically-
'92. The
yes.
kids in daycare. We all wrote a Batman production.
Are you serious?
And we made it happen.
Yeah.
We made it happen.
Yeah.
Like we had a program, we had everything. We
Yeah.
had the stage,
Like,
everything.
we had this idea.
We went to
Really?
We went to Cathedral
Really?
in the
Yeah.
Pines. Brian
Like
and
you
I.
presented the adults with like this script. For
No, it was for
Batman.
all the kids in daycare.
Yeah.
Like we put it
and
on
guess
for
whose
all the
idea
kids
it
in
was?
daycare. Yeah, it was his idea.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And we made it happen. And I will say this, and I hope you're listening out there.
geez.
There was this really big,
What the fuck was
overweight
that with the
child
bones?
that freaked out that he was casted
yeah.
as the Penguin.
Well, go ahead. Tell him what character that is right there.
The Spike character?
Yeah.
What a
You know the
shun.
fucking bones that come out of his forearm.
They're not bones. They're like wood.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's a take on Spike, I think, or not Spike.
Yeah.
What is her name? Marrow from the X-Men.
Yeah.
Marrow?
All right.
Marrow.
All right. Now back
It was
to
a
the
Morlock.
story,
No,
though.
we're done with it. We'll
See,
do
there's
it.
a-
We'll do it
there's-
on the next Batman.
There's so
Or
many
the Batman.
things.
Cool.
There's so
Yeah.
many things from this
All right,
that are like
all right.
referencing the
You'll have
Morlocks.
to tune into the next one that we do to get the rest of that daycare theatrical production.
I'm
It's not a
sorry, I'm
daycare.
sorry,
We were in
sorry.
like
No,
second or
no,
third
it's
grade.
okay.
Daycare.
We gotta like leave them hanging. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What are you gonna do with a fucking?
It's like
bat?
all I want to talk about now.
What are you gonna do
Damn
with
you.
it?
Sorry,
What are
I'm
you gonna
sorry.
do with a bat? Seriously, it's Wolverine. And you gotta
give
like.
him a good whack. a good blam and a wham. Comic book.
cram.
No,
Thank
anybody-
you, ma'am.
Cram.
Okay, a side note because you've seen Logan.
Yeah.
Y'all have seen Logan.
I've
Logan
seen
is
it,
so
yeah.
dead. Our viewers probably haven't.
Everyone's seen Logan.
We don't have viewers.
This isn't going to ruin it, but in the Dark Phoenix saga, it's supposed to be they go after the Hellfire Club, and
Yeah,
Wolverine goes through and like guts a lot of their goons, and they are who become the Reavers, the cyborgs from Logan.
Yeah.
It's just such a like missed opportunity. Everything about this is just missed opportunity after missed opportunity.
Look, there were ups and there were downs, but Hugh Jackman has rocked that role for so long. It's pretty incredible.
And he's not
And I
even-
feel like his farewell, even if it really is his final one, was great.
It was great. But he doesn't even look like Wolverine, honestly. He's like
No, he's too tall.
Well, no, he never
He's-
did.
he's
Like
too
they
tall.
never
He's
made him
short.
look.
He's
No,
like my
Wolverine's
height.
like super
he's
short.
not your height. He's
like
5'3".
insanely short, but
Wolverine's
he's
like really short.
blown
for him.
up, like super
He's
blown
square.
up.
He's
He's
a square
5'3".
Yeah.
He's 5'3", 190 pounds in the comics.
dude. Wow.
Yeah.
Of
Wow.
pure muscle and
Just like he's like a mole
he's a
person.
cannon.
Whereas Hugh
He's a
Jackman
cannonball.
is 6'2".
No.
He's 6 foot.
Are you serious?
6 foot.
I think he was shorter.
No, he's 6 foot.
Also, do love that. Like,
That's why they make him look short compared to Jean Grey.
Oh, yeah.
Said they shot him shorter than her because he is in the comics. So I guess they did maintain something.
Well, no, James Marsden wore, what are they called that make you taller?
Heels?
Like heels?
Stilts.
I don't
lifts.
know what you mean.
Lifts. Yeah, lifts. James Marsden's like 5'8", I think, something like that.
But I will say there's a lot of actors that never wanted to be typecasted. You know, like Michael Keaton never wanted to come back to be Batman because he didn't want to always be the guy that played Batman. But Hugh Jackman, he owned the role of Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he still had a very fruitful career outside of it. He has a stage actor, screen actor. I don't know.
Dude,
I like Hugh Jackman a lot, if you can't tell.
With Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen doing, like, Shakespeare.
Oh, of course, yeah.
How crazy is that?
He also he's like a musical stage actor, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's a singy boy.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
Song and dance man.
Aristocrat. Not aristocrat.
I always think of that.
Aristocrat.
I always think of that
thespian?
meme.
Are you thinking of a thespian, Tim?
What does the meme say? Like Wolverine versus Magneto? My bones!
I don't know why that made me laugh so.
I can't remember what it says.
I never understand why Wolverine ever tries to go up against
yeah.
Magneto.
It's the stupidest idea ever.
But I don't know if adamantium is ferromagnetic in the first place. God damn it!
Are you really saying that as a fan of X-Men? Like that's his biggest challenge. Is like his biggest strength is the adamantium bones.
Wolverine can probably sneak up on Magneto.
No, the thing is that is a test of his will.
Yeah.
Going up against Magneto is a test of will.
Of course it is.
Because he can.
It's like Krillin going up to fucking Frieza. Like, you're an idiot. Don't do it.
But Wolverine's like an animal. Like, he's a tracker.
Exactly.
He smells.
He's like, fuck you. I don't care if you can control all my bones. I'm still going to try
This
to
is such a creative idea.
This was really cool. This is the only dude that
Wolverine can sneak up on Magneto and kill him in the night.
Like a woman scorned.
Magneto's got to sleep sometime. This is Tim coming to you with your AccuWeather report. The time is 8:15.
Will you please add some Weather Channel jazz music to the
really
background?
good outside right now.
Please.
I love it because in the comic book, everybody you think is Multiple Man ends up being one of his duplicates.
Yeah.
So, like...
Well, it's like a good way to, like, Multiple Man died.
Yeah.
Psych!
Yeah. Like, he dies, like, I don't know, 3 times, and it's like, no, that wasn't really him.
It's very, like, espionage.
They're like, no, for real, he really died this time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. We're back from break.
This was always my favorite part of this movie was, like, the wood scenes where...
I love the wood.
They're having like
I love the computers.
Stop it!
They're having like a cool like mutant rave out in the middle of like
rave.
They're having a cool mutant rave like in the middle of fucking
that's
Pacific.
why they set up multiple.
Like Matrix Reloaded.
That's why they set up Multiple Man in one scene earlier, so that when this happens, you go, "Oh yeah."
Hold on. Was Multiplicity starring Michael Keaton about Multiple Man?
Yes, it was.
That was an origin story.
It was the origin. Yeah.
When can that be put back in the canon? You know what? I just realized today there's a lot of things I don't know.
Look at fucking Mike Pence, man. Mike Pence is like pissed off.
It was one guy. Aw.
I don't know why he would suck it all back in.
Hey guys, I just want to let you know if I had his power, I would go around and pimp the podcast.
That guy.
Street team,
such
one
a
man.
whore. Such a whore.
Well, hey, you heard of this? Hold on, let me.
This guy knows about it.
Well,
I'd gangbang myself, and you'd pimp the podcast.
The character only had 2 scenes, but he kind of did a good job at summing up Multiple Man. Because Multiple Man, from what I remember in the comics, was a
that's the worst name. That's the worst name.
He was a smartass.
Very quippy.
Multiple Man.
I get so bothered by the bridge scene because it, like, what's the point?
Yeah, it was just
it's
like
a big action set piece.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The second half of this movie just turns into like, okay, let's get fucking crazy with it. They gave me $200 million.
Yeah.
Let's fucking move the Golden Gate Bridge. Nobody ever did that in a movie.
We're finally in the last act. This is where they had to just blow their load.
This is the battle that they've been talking about the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Maybe Beast will take his tie off finally.
He's like, hey, I got some wings, you guys. I can do reconnaissance.
I can fly.
So wait, Beast at this point is probably the closest to an actual X-Men costume.
Yeah. Hey, man, Wolverine actually
There's
looks
actually
pretty
yellow.
cool.
There's actually some yellow
It's not
in
his
the
costume though.
It looks similar to his Ultimate costume.
Oh, here we go. There's the...
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I gotta pump you up.
It just hit me.
This is the coach going into the big game.
We want to help out too, man.
All right.
I read earlier.
All right,
we're down and
has
out.
Colossus said a word?
Nope.
No.
Who is Colossus?
Colossus
the
is
middleman.
He's the giant Colossus.
What?
He's the metal man. He's the big guy.
Turns into metal.
He's the big guy.
Is he
over there.
from Deadpool?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, they put him in.
He's in here.
He was
that
the big
guy.
dude.
He's an X-Men.
Sleeveless.
Oh, I had no idea.
They did him way better in the
I've been
Deadpool
sitting here for like
movies.
an hour and a half. I just now realized that.
In the Deadpool movies, he actually speaks with a Russian accent.
Well, he
movie
was
really is
entirely
terrible, isn't
CG.
it?
Yeah,
in
it's
Deadpool.
bad. It's bad.
But he actually spoke with a Russian accent, which was...
Well, he does look very Russian, so I'll give him that point.
He just looks tall. That's all.
Okay, guys, stop fighting.
She's like, I better not mess up my hair.
You know what? I still can't get over who the fuck wouldn't want a pair of wings. Like, why would you want to get rid of a pair of wings?
Because your dad is angry at you.
Well, your dad's a bitch if he don't want you. Like, my dad would be happy for me. He would be like, son, you got a pair of fucking eagle wings? That's badass.
That's America as fuck. Man.
Like, my dad would be like, that's awesome.
Well, no,
I was going to ask you if you could check the mail, but will you go rent this movie for me?
Yeah, no, my dad would be like, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I did a lot of
This
acid
always
when I was a
bothered me,
kid.
though, that Storm rides or actually flies the jet.
When she can just fucking...
Yeah, I'd be like, peace, y'all. I'll see y'all there. I can fucking fly.
I
Why
can
am I
ride
gonna be in this
currents
jet?
of air.
Everybody.
But that goes back to your why are mutants bad question.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you think about it, like, if Iceman really existed, like, some environmental group would hire him to go to Antarctica.
Oh, yeah, to actually do some stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
right,
hopefully he would just be doing that anyways, you know?
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, some of these people were given this power and they're shit.
I mean, shit. I never thought about that. He could just go out there and just be like, bam, done.
Global warming.
Yeah,
We're
I'll
good.
come back in 20 years and do it again.
Well, that actually opens up a whole discussion of, like, just superheroes in general. Like,
Well,
what could they
Storm
really
could
do
do
to
this.
better the
Storm
planet?
could stop
you know?
hurricanes.
No.
Yeah.
no.
Storm could push hurricanes back. She could put rain in areas that are suffering from drought. I mean,
There's
she
actually-
could fucking solve...
Aaron's giving a no-no.
There's actually a very good reason why these things cannot happen, and they are canonical. They're also in the comics, but they're also very scientific. So, anytime that
Don't try to apply science to...
anytime that Iceman actually cools something down, it's like a refrigerant, right? If you went to the back of your refrigerator and felt the exhaust fan from it, it's hot because to cool things takes energy.
Heat.
And what he does is this is why he's omega
drawing
level.
it from somewhere else.
Yeah,
on the planet.
this is why he's omega level, because to make things cool, all he's doing is like drawing the kinetic and the radiant energy from something and dispelling it.
Yeah.
So if he were to go to Antarctica and the North
that's
Pole,
true because he can't create it.
Right.
He can only manipulate.
He can
what's
only
already
manipulate
there.
it. So if he went there to do that, like on the outer edges, like say like around Nebraska, we get hot as fuck.
I see.
Then,
right.
But I guarantee you,
fix
and I'm
one
sure
place,
we can
another
probably
place
all
will
agree
suffer.
that there
but
is a ice slinging
No, he is ice slinging, but it makes it hot somewhere else.
superhero,
And with Storm,
supervillain somewhere that
and
could
with-
be doing some good.
But here's the thing, though, with Storm too, is like Storm manipulates
Storm's
like barometric pressures. She manipulates humidities and things
Right,
like that.
right. All
But
right.
she cannot
Boss.
create. But she cannot create.
We get it.
Water out of nowhere. So she,
Yeah.
so like for her to create rains in drought places, it's going to make droughts in other
Okay,
places.
okay.
And in the comics, they do
You're
that,
right.
and they cause chaos. And
Thanks.
shit.
I mean,
There's-
I
there's-
felt good.
All right, Tim's even saying okay.
You know what? Fuck you guys, man. Fuck you guys.
just
I
bummed
know
out now.
things.
Oh, by the way, the fucking Golden Gate
I know
Bridge is
this.
falling over now. What did you do,
Well, hold
Aaron?
on, Brian, what were you going to
I was just going to say,
This whole conversation.
Hold on, Brian.
there's an
Brian.
issue of what if where Storm becomes Phoenix and she forces the world to be environmentally conscious.
That's a story.
Yeah, like she.
Or a fan theory?
Oh, man, I
or an
really
actual
wanna
That's
story?
a
No, it's
story.
an actual like
Oh, that's a
written
real
comic
thing.
book.
The
She's
what
like,
if
everyone will compost now.
Yeah, no, she's
wow.
like fucking crazy. Like, no, we're
I need to
destroying the
read
world.
some X-Men. I really
This
do.
Magneto has a great like Arnold Schwarzenegger level pun coming up here in a second. Because like the Golden Gate Bridge is just like, okay, man, if you want to be a badass, you gotta fuck up the Golden Gate Bridge in your movie.
Welcome to the Rock.
2016 Godzilla did it. This did it. Fucking, oh my god, countless movies.
Well, even the
Blow up.
Alcatraz thing. Have any of you ever
Yeah.
been to Alcatraz?
No.
Many times.
It makes so much less sense if you've been to Alcatraz
Only in
that this would be the
Only
case.
in the movies.
Right.
Like
Nicolas
like
Cage,
it's a museum. It's
Sean
beautiful.
Connery.
Really?
Yeah,
Man,
Here we go.
I definitely want to go.
This is.
like only 3 people have escaped. and
Clint
they-
Eastwood.
How would that hold up? Like that would just be collapsing.
Yeah.
no, it would be dead.
Well, isn't
Well,
he
he's
controlling it?
He's holding it up still, I think.
guess.
I think he's
Whatever.
still holding up,
It's
kind
the only
of.
way. It has to be that way.
Yeah, but did he already say it, or he says it right here?
He doesn't have to say I'm holding it. Would that be weird?
See, he didn't
a line
kill everyone.
for him to say I'm holding up the bridge currently,
just to let everybody know.
No, it was just he was just flexing on motherfuckers. Like he just wanted to fuck the bridge up, and now he's saving a lot of the people there.
Well,
he
so
his
his
army
army can march
that
across.
too, but he didn't kill everybody.
He's
So
holding
he's merciful.
Yeah, well, he's holding it up. Yeah, so
Look at his racist ass sneer. He was just like, you human
He's
trash.
become Hitler at this point.
He's a fucking racist piece of shit.
Well, I guess we missed a line. He says a line where he goes, "Charles always did want to build bridges."
I remember the ending of this movie because it was this terrible like siege-like thing where like they set up their defenses on this like bullshit island with this bullshit bridge.
Oh shit! Wait.
It's just a bunch of set pieces in a lot somewhere in Hollywood.
No, look,
you know, they shot it really terribly.
So this is what I'm gonna say is like the biggest sin.
I hate this. This
is the biggest sin in this movie to me.
Look at that. Look how fucking
now
bad.
it's 30 Days of Night.
No.
Correct?
Y'all
a little bit.
Y'all hear
little
me
bit,
out.
yeah.
Y'all hear me out. This is the biggest sin in this whole movie. Is whenever like this is happening and there's a siege, and then he goes, "No, wait a minute. Let the pawns go first." But like in
That goes
his
against everything
in his rosters of like bishops and knights and queens is Porcupine Face.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're not a pawn. Like let the pawns
Porcupine
go
Face
first."
bowed up to fucking storm earlier.
Like that's the biggest sin to me is like the porcupine guy is like not a pawn.
So stupid.
That's all you can do, man. You're a pufferfish.
Yeah.
That's your power. Is you're a pufferfish.
Why that person
Hey
was in the
man,
movie.
there's a lot of people that voted for Trump too, so you know.
Apparently.
So
Well, we didn't have to go
Bryan,
there, but
Bryan,
know.
at this point in the film, have you just been completely lost? What I mean, I remember.
Yeah, like I mean, I'd given up by this point.
This is final
I mean,
action sequence
I was
territory.
just sitting there going, okay, I guess I'll just see how it ends.
Yeah.
But fuck. Because this is, again, it's such another missed opportunity with all these pawns that are running in. They could have shown us a bunch of cool cameo, different, like, so we could be like, oh, that's so-and-so, or that's so-and-so. But even if they die immediately, who cares? Like,
Well, even this. Okay, she's one of the people who slaughters the Morlocks, and instead she's one of the Morlocks.
yeah.
Like in the comic books,
She's very
like,
androgynous.
Yeah. In the
She's got the Superman curl.
Zach loves androgyny. He loves
Bryan,
it.
finish your statement.
I was just gonna say, in the comic books, like Callisto and Leech and all of them, like they're raided by this group of killers from Mr. Sinister. And it's just like it's the first crossover, really. And it's just beautiful. And instead, like, they just, like, took people's powers and used them to make this very confusing narrative.
Okay, hold on.
When do you think they're gonna? When do you think they're ever gonna put Mr. Sinister in something?
They've teased it twice.
Yeah, they have teased it twice.
Yeah?
In Deadpool
Because all the
2,
Essex stuff.
Who's Mr.
But when's he
who's
coming
Mr.
in?
Sinister?
At the end of Apocalypse, they teased him, and in Deadpool 2, they teased him also.
You think he's coming in next bit?
I thought it was an extra scene after Logan. Maybe it wasn't.
Who is Mr.
It was
Sinister?
after
no,
Apocalypse, where
Hey!
they get his blood.
Who is Mr.
His
Sinister?
big
Sorry.
white, his
Yeah, I have
the
no
red
idea.
diamond in his
Mr.
forehead.
Sinister.
Brian tells Zach who
Cyclops
Mr.
was
Sinister is.
raised in an orphanage by Mr. Sinister. He was kind of created by Apocalypse, and his main focus is
Storm
killing
being a
Apocalypse at some point. But and so he's been
He's
trying.
like Silver Surfer.
It's really one of the coolest story arcs that I like.
He's been trying to get Jean and Scott together to make a weapon to kill Apocalypse, which is Cable.
which becomes
Shit.
Cable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cable.
I didn't know that's where
Wow.
Cable came from.
Yeah.
Cable, and he was sent 2,000 years into the future.
That's why
and-
Cyclops is just
Yeah.
an
Well, that's
asshole
why
who can't
comic
keep his
books are
dick
so
in his
amazing.
pants. Because he was raised by
well-
Mr. Sinister and Professor X.
Well, hold on.
This is X-Men school.
We're gonna
I want to do this again.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna, on that
No,
note,
we
Brian.
got to.
Brian,
I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
it.
Sorry,
you go
sorry,
first.
sorry.
We're gonna get back to the movie. On that note, who's your favorite X-Men villain?
I'm going to say Mr. Sinister. I love Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister's my number 2. Apocalypse is my number
Yeah,
1.
Apocalypse is wonderful.
What's your favorite X-Men villain?
Just a cartoon kid, so Magneto is my man.
Zach.
I mean, I can't really say, but I like Juggernaut.
Juggernaut's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Aaron. What about Strife? People forget about Strife.
Oh, yeah.
Let Aaron,
was a
let
clone
Aaron,
of Cable's
let Aaron
got
answer
quiet.
before you go on a tangent.
No, he's thinking hard on this one.
Modark? What?
Oh,
Modoc?
Mojo.
Modoc or Mojo? Mojo, the big crazy.
Modoc's the wizard, right? The space wizard.
Modoc was like the big head.
Yeah, but that's not an X-Men villain. But.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mojo.
Mordark
really,
or something.
Mordock.
Mordak.
It's
Mordor.
anyway. I was just trying to think of something creative.
This
but
is stupid.
Honestly,
he was trying to go deep cuts.
I really like the woman who has the claws, kind of like Wolverine.
Yeah, Lady Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike.
yeah.
That's it.
No, X-Men 2 ruined her because she was so much cooler in the comics.
Deathstrike. And
Omega
also,
Red doesn't get enough.
Okay, let's get to what this do. Let's get to
I like
It's introducing a lot of characters.
There's a really cool moment coming up.
Samurai
Like this
too.
is all the characters. This is all the fan service we're looking at.
Yeah.
Right here.
There's a big moment coming up with Iceman that's like we've been waiting for it to happen.
This
Is
part,
there another slow
this
lull?
Part.
Oh, this Bryan.
Okay,
go.
okay. Jeff Dixon informed me that what
You hear the
he's
bowling ball pin sound effect they did there?
okay, what he's about to say to her
Became a meme.
apparently already existed as a YouTube video before
From
this
the
movie.
cartoon.
What
Yeah.
you mean? The I'm
Oh,
Juggernaut
damn!
bit?
Yeah, whenever he says "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch,"
Oh,
that
that's why he
existed
cut
a
his
year
arms off.
before this movie.
Yeah,
And-
so they used the joke knowing it was already a
Put it
joke
in the movie.
Yeah.
that they didn't create.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very dumbed down. Like, that's dumbed down shit right there.
And what is it? What does she say?
In
to
my
him?
opinion, I don't know.
Yeah. Where? This was already a meme from the 90s cartoon, what he's about to say. They put it in the movie.
Who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
She calls him
Oh,
a dick
remember the
or
memes?
something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember
The meme existed before
I'm the
that.
Juggernaut, bitch. It was from
The cartoon. That's what I just
no,
said.
it was from all these internet 4chan.
Well, they made
No,
it. They
it was-
made it with images from
Yeah,
the original
you're the man
cartoon.
now.
It was from
Right,
the
it was
cartoon.
from the
And that was the
cartoon.
meme.
Yeah,
but
I
they
know,
did
yeah,
say
but
it.
they
That's
added
why they
it.
put it in this movie.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it's
as
only
a
in this
kid.
movie because that
That's
meme
crazy.
existed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
That was the
Bryan
first time
that
this
little
happened.
dork?
Brian just said that you guys are smart.
Yeah, he was.
No, I know. I
Brian
didn't say
just
that
said
I said it.
Yeah, he was.
Well, we're
he
acting
was
like we. Yeah, wait. Here's what Brian was talking earlier about how they changed Psylocke's powers.
Oh yeah, Psylocke's about to walk out of the shadow.
So
The guy that invented the cure, right?
The fucking porcupine guy. Jesus.
Yeah.
You
I
stupid
invented, every
pufferfish.
time I've heard the
tough.
Cure in this
What else-
episode,
what
I
other
think
movie
of
was he
stupid
in?
puffer
What other
fish.
movie
he's like,
was
you
he in?
can't punch me in the face.
He was
'cause
in a
look at
couple
this.
of-
Oh, watch this. Just hug. It's nothing special.
This is the only way he can kill somebody.
Oh, he's just calming her down, though.
It's his only
That's
fucking
the
power.
only way he can kill
It's his
somebody.
only
no,
power.
no. What other movies is he in?
And he's like shrugging.
He was in
No
that
one
show
cares,
Lost.
Zach.
He was in that
Why?
show Lost. That's the only thing I know.
That was it.
oh yeah, he wasn't lost.
Fuck you, Chris.
I like that.
God,
I
he's
like
so
how,
cool.
Yeah.
Beast is just like,
Beast is the best thing about this film.
See, on the X-Men podcast I listened to,
He's
they-
quoting Winston Churchill.
there he is.
they talk about how Beast is always portrayed well and Storm is always portrayed not well.
I think they based Kelsey. I feel Kelsey Grammer was like watched the animated series.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's very. Because since the animated series, that's how I picture
Yeah,
Beast.
yeah,
When
yeah.
I read the comics, I do it in that voice.
Honestly,
Whoever that voice actor
honestly,
was
he's
from
the
the
only
animated
actor
series.
I've ever seen that just played like the intellectual type.
Definitely.
Like, there's never been like anything that can compare to his character that
Frasier.
he played.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we identify Kelsey Grammer as just being that person.
Yeah.
Who's hiding?
I do.
Yeah, who's hiding?
I was like,
dickhead?
what is she? What is
Yeah, I knew she called him a dick or something like that. See, Brian, why is that such bullshit? Tell the listeners why that was bullshit.
Well, I mean, beyond the fact that he's wearing a helmet, like, I don't know. Choices.
He's not a mutant.
Choices.
That kid's power, Leech, the kid's power should not have affected Juggernaut because in the comics, he's not a mutant. He shouldn't have. hurt him.
Oh, those wings came in handy.
Oh, that's why this fucking guy was in this movie. So
We needed it for this one scene.
So he could look at his dad and be like,
We need a
now
flying
what's up,
guy."
bitch? Yeah. It was kind of cool.
I saved Joel. Fuck that. I would not
'Cause that's
save
a-
his
a
life
deep
after
cut
treating me like
that-
shit for my wings.
And this right here. She fucking straight up murdered this bitch. But what's the joke?
She just got
The
lit.
lip ring is glowing red hot. Oh, God. It's so bad. Oh, wait, you could have done this the whole time?
Do you know what happens to a toad in a lightning storm?
Yeah, the same.
And
the worst
I
one-liner in a
believe that
film
what you guys
ever.
say is true.
Worst one-liner
so
ever.
Wait.
These guys.
So they could have done this the whole time. Magneto could have been throwing flaming cars the whole time.
What happened to the Toad from the first movie?
He's dead.
Who
Same
gives
thing-
a shit?
The thing that happened to him is the
I
same
really
thing
liked
that
him in
everything
Thank you.
else
I was like,
happens to.
finish it. Please finish it.
But
The only reason why he was cool
hey,
is that it was fucking Ray Park.
Well, yeah, exactly. Ray
That's the
Park
only
played
reason
the
why
Toad,
anybody gave a shit.
and Ray Park is the same actor that played
Who
Darth
bought the
Maul.
Carbach?
Ray Park played Darth Maul. And he played the Toad.
And he is cooler in the film than he is in the comic.
He was also at Comic Palooza this
what
summer.
producer said, "Hey man, we gotta get the Toad in here"? Like who said that? Like who was we gotta have the Toad in this movie? Like
BJ went with me to that one and met him. I think BJ stood in line and met Ray Park at that one.
Okay.
Old Darth Maul.
Old Darth Maul, Toad. See, now here's the moral quandary. Beast is like, no, we can't do that. Storm's like, I don't give a shit.
She's like, I need to get my hair washed.
Yeah, my hair is still legit right now.
So I assume after it's over, I'll get into like what this was supposed to be. Okay.
Or what it could have been.
Yeah. Even though Bryan Singer is a diddler.
Even though what?
Bryan Singer is a diddler.
Hell yeah, he's a diddler. We established that.
Okay, can y'all just give me just a very short...
Sorry.
Like, what's going on?
Why are you defending Bryan Singer?
No, I want to know what's going on. I haven't heard the story.
It's very
Tim,
simple.
get out of here with that. That's not what I said.
Look, it's very simple. Apparently, Bryan Singer...
Diddled.
Apparently, Bryan Singer, like...
You apparently know the story.
Bryan Singer, like... As a ruse to a casting call type of situation, like, had a party on his boat and fucked young men.
Yeah. Sexually
was like casting couch type of thing.
Very
was like
underage
he was trying to
situations,
like
super
60,
underage,
like not little.
Hey, you want to get in Hollywood kind of thing.
So like in Bryan Singer's
I'm
defense,
against him.
not little boys like I was saying earlier. I was just playing that up. It wasn't little boys like I was saying earlier. I was being salacious, but like 16-year-old men.
This right here,
16-year-old boys. You know,
this is one of the few redeeming qualities of this film.
Just Google it, Chris. Google Bryan Singer.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
Google diddle.
Everyone out there listening,
can we all just Google diddle together?
Go Google diddle,
and we'll all post we'll all have a different number picture that we'll do.
So
I picked
cool.
picture 2.
But notice how like his hair's not burning or anything. Like he.
Actually, I just Googled diddle. It says to
don't
cheat.
do that.
It says to cheat.
We were just joking. Don't do that.
It says to cheat or swindle.
Finally,
so as to deprive them of something.
This right here.
Yes.
That was like, I probably stood up and cheered.
Oh, yeah. This is when he becomes Omega. Like, this is when he's like, I am.
Well, it's the first time we
God.
saw him as a full-on,
Iceman.
like, as we know him and love him in the comics.
Because, like, him, Wolverine, and Jean are probably the only 3 who might be able to kill all the other X-Men.
Yes.
Well, what's really funny, they do
too.
things on TV where they're like, oh, Family Guy predicted this, or Simpsons predicted this. Have you ever seen those?
No.
The Simpsons predicted Trump being president
I've seen those.
I've seen those. The Family Guy predicted Iceman coming out as gay, whatever the issue was. I bought it.
Oh, okay.
And they did a skit. They always do the flashback, and it's Iceman sitting in a lounger right by a window behind him that's open, and he's reading the newspaper. And his girlfriend comes in the apartment. And she's like, "You're like," she says something like, "You're gay or what?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, I know you went to the gay club last night." He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." The open window behind him has his ice slide.
That was Family Guy. That wasn't The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I think she walked up and said, "I'm pregnant," and then he just got out.
No. His slide the gay club is like right beneath.
The gay club's name was the White
You can
Swallow.
hear his ice slide goes right in from out the window of their apartment down into the front door.
The gay club's name was the White Swallow.
Yeah. And he eventually came out as gay. I think that was
It's so
Family
weird.
Guy joke.
It's so weird to me that in this movie, like, this is the point where Magneto needs to be depowered, but at no point does Jean need to be depowered. Like,
I don't think
Jean's
she could
fine.
be depowered because she has a Phoenix Force, right? Like, she can't be.
Well,
depowered.
they
but they don't
actually
even try. Like,
they don't actually explain in the movies. It's different from the
She
comics.
blew away Cyclops earlier.
Well, what they do
And now she's powerless?
with those flashbacks of meeting her as a kid in the movies, in the comics, it was this outer space.
see, like,
force.
she's about to kill all those people.
But in the movies, they make it like it's something that's always been inside of her that has been awoken.
And they kind of do, in the movie.
She just looks like a villain.
So I don't know that she could be depowered.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, they don't even try. They don't.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even attempt it.
And it's also why I'm super excited to read it, because I've been asking you guys, and y'all also change shit. I've asked you before, and y'all have changed different series, but I know of like at least like 3 or 4 that I know you guys are absolutely in love with that I need to start.
I've got a box of X-Men comic books
with one of them.
Give you.
I'm not saying I'm starting the Dark Phoenix, but I'm starting one of them.
Okay. We'll let them borrow.
I keep them in order in catalogs. By issue number.
I'm very excited to freaking read them, man. I really, really am. Like they have a very family
Magneto
aspect.
finally realized, oh shit, I opened Pandora's box.
Oh God, what have I done?
See, at this point, it's not Homo sapien, Homo superior. It's we're all human beings.
Right.
And this bitch could fucking kill all of us.
Everyone.
Even the simple fact that Sentinels don't show up is a little weird, though.
Like y'all said earlier, that was the big deal that they introduced them.
We thought they were going to. Yeah, we thought they were going to play.
No, it was
part.
a different one. It was one of the newer ones. I think it was the Days
Oh,
of
it wasn't
Future
this one? I
Past.
thought they did.
Well, because they didn't show.
Oh,
them.
I checked out.
They just showed their heads.
God, I forgot how many
Aaron,
people
quit.
she killed.
It was
She
Days of
killed
Future
everybody.
No, I'm not dealing with
Yeah,
this.
the whole
It was Days
Infinity
of Future
War.
Past,
Aaron's being
and they
The
weird.
whole
did it.
Infinity War getting turned to dust. Look at
Cornholio.
this. Jean Grey is just turning all these people to ash.
So where does this stand on the comic book film universe level?
Well, Days
Like,
of
as
Future
far as-
Past went back and retconned this.
Oh, okay. So this was erased with Days of Future Past.
Just about everything in this film was erased from by when fucking Bryan Singer came back for Days of Future Past.
Okay.
That's why he did that.
Yeah.
He did the time travel movie
To wipe this movie
as
out.
a fuck you.
Right.
Y'all
awesome.
fucked up my thing.
But he
Yeah.
got.
That's awesome.
But he did get Shadowcat Kitty Pryde back.
And
you know.
it's my favorite one. I like this. This is some pretty good CG effects in this right
Yeah,
here.
definitely.
I mean, all this behind him, how his flesh gets ripped apart and then
The water,
comes
yeah.
back. You see his metal bones actually here and there,
My problem with it,
She's
just
holding way back. Too.
and the music, of course.
comparing it to the comic and the animated series, in both, she has the agency. She's the one who decides to kill herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she
Because
she looks like she feels bad about what she's doing right now.
Yeah, but she gets him to take care of the situation
Right.
rather than
Which-
taking care of it herself. And like that's such a small thing, but it.
But her way of taking care of it is just wiping everyone
I think
out.
it's what he says right
no,
here.
in the
though.
comic, she kills herself. Like she's just like, I'm too powerful, I'm too out of control, and like, yeah, and it's just, it kind of weakens the story for her to have him do it.
to
I think
take
you're right.
that power away from
I
her.
think you're right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I think
take
Look, look. She starts crying. She becomes weak right there at the end, and asks him to save her.
Yeah.
It takes the power away from that character
You know-
of her
you know-
making the decision on her
okay,
own.
and-
You're
and
absolutely right.
I know we were-
That's
we're-
fucked up. Yeah, I mean,
I think you're right.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That she had to cry and beg him
Yeah,
to save her.
It is.
There would have been that moment
Yeah.
would have been way more powerful.
If she just killed
If
herself.
she
Yeah.
would have said, "Hey, I understand what you're doing. You're trying to save me, and even at my worst, you're still here in my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
But I can't let you." And she
Yeah.
could have. She
Yeah.
could have flown up in the air and blown herself
It
up.
makes
or
her.
something.
It makes her a much weaker female
Yeah.
character. You know.
like I just think of the animated.
Fuck you,
series.
Brett Ratner.
The animated series so beautifully.
Hashtag feminism.
Like it captures it because like she loses it and becomes Phoenix, and like each character, each X-Man is like, I just can't do it. And finally she's with Cyclops and she looks at him and she's like, I can't control this every minute of every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I can't kill you. And she's like, well, I'll take care of it myself. And there's something beautiful about that. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she couldn't. I mean, how? I
well,
mean,
you guys, yeah.
I imagine like asking like your soulmate or what do you want to call
Yeah.
Scott and
Now-
Jean, like, would you kill me if
Yeah.
I got out of
Would-
control?
would y'all say that-
And then I'd be
as-
absolutely not.
As much as
you
they
know?
fucked up on the movie, they still kept Wolverine. Wolverine seems to be the most accurately portrayed character.
Yeah,
in
they
all
never-
these
Yeah,
films.
yeah,
They
yeah.
never,
mentally
they never
fucked
fucked him up.
Yeah.
He's the most
Because-
consistent.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
throughout
Even
all
with
of
the
it.
in this
Wolverine
movie,
Origins
what
movie.
he just did, where he was fighting through her power and getting torn apart and rehealing and everything like
Yeah.
that's still in tune with his character.
Definitely.
That's
and
how
that's
badass
that's
he
Hugh
is.
Jackman.
That's what everybody likes about him. So.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put $1 million down right now that when Fox does integrate with Marvel and that does start happening,
they won't.
I bet you
They won't.
everybody
think
will
so.
get recast if they fucking pull a
Yep.
dump truck of money to his fucking
Nah,
front
if
lawn.
They're go-
No,
you
they-
telling me they won't?
I'll
You
agree.
telling me that he
I will.
won't?
I will agree with you
I say an
because if
opposition.
they do something that crazy,
I hope it's not him.
I stand in
And-
opposition.
Because
I would like to see a new one
I think
I
it
say an
I
opposition.
think it will confuse viewers.
Yes.
Because whenever I talk to
because they will
people-
tie it back into the.
Yeah,
No,
like
you're
they,
right.
they
you're
don't
right.
get the separation.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't
You're
think.
right.
Old,
separation has to be.
I don't think
actual
old
real
Feige.
thing.
I don't
Agreed.
think old Feige will go for it. He will want somebody who's like maybe 32.
That we're gonna
Now-
make it our own thing now.
Now, if we're
Oh,
not,
who they sign up for like 8 of them.
Yeah, now
you're gonna sign an 8-picture deal.
Here's
you ain't doing nothing else but this.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. Hopefully, but at the same time, like this is another like 6'2" sort of like
Jackman's
guy.
too tall and too pretty.
He's too tall and too pretty, but I think who they actually will get might be fucking Scott Eastman. I think that might be who they get.
He was the original. No, wait. No, who was the original?
I'm talking about Clint.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Well, they've been rumoring Tom Hardy.
No, Tom Hardy's out.
That's
He's
not
out.
gonna happen.
As soon as he did Venom, he's out. He's out now. Like he's not a Marvel guy.
So is that
anymore.
it?
Well, it's.
Oh yeah,
I hate that they
that's a
still
good
kind
choice.
of give it this
I
kind
think
of
it's.
happy.
I think it's going to be him. I
After
really
all
do.
of this shit, they gave it a. I remember in the early 80s.
I'm sorry, I said Scott
were-
Eastman. I meant Scott Eastwood. I don't know why I said
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's
Is
Scott
that Clint Eastwood's kid?
It's Clint Eastwood's
See,
son.
I
He
was
looks just like him too.
They give it this
Wow.
big happy ending.
no. Whenever you
What up?
showed
So
me,
many people died.
because Tim showed me the
Everyone-
alternate.
Hold on.
Tim showed me the alternate endings to this, and they are even happier than this is. And it's so bizarre.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
We just watched Wolverine stab Jean Grey in the gut
Yeah.
and murder her after she just murdered a whole bunch of other people. And they cut to the Golden Gate Bridge of the angel swinging up, flying over it.
And how
And
the
then
hell
they-
is
Yeah.
how is Magneto not in a fucking prison cell?
And
Definitely.
they negate it. Yeah, they negate this, and then this
Yeah.
shot. You're like, okay, well,
He just took off his helmet. Nobody recognized him. After
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But
this last shot. This is this movie did it before Inception did it.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The ending of Inception where he spins his top.
Yeah.
But it cheapens
It's the same-
everything.
It cheapened it exactly.
Yeah.
Especially the after credit sequence. Where
Yeah.
you find out Charles Xavier isn't fucking really
Oh,
dead.
he
either.
just made it wiggle.
Yeah, you're like,
He
oh
just
my
made it
god.
wiggle.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so all that shit was bullshit. All the cure shit.
All right, look, we got
all the cure shit apparently doesn't even work.
Temporary cure.
It negates
It totally was
everything.
a temporary
Oh, is there an
cure.
after credit scene? We got a lot
There's
of
a,
minutes.
it's a mid-credit scene.
Okay.
That's all right. We can.
And Kevin
Final
Feige
thoughts.
was executive producer.
Final thoughts. Let's start with Chris.
We
Final
were-
Let's
thoughts.
start with
Final.
Bryan.
All right, so X-Men 3. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It's not, I mean, I don't hate it. But if anything, what I've gotten out of this situation is I am super pumped up to talk about and read X-Men comics. This
Oh,
is
that's
really
good.
exciting.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it took me a while to spit that out. But no, I'm just, this whole situation has made me very excited to actually check out the stories. Like, I want to
can't
read
wait
them.
to let you borrow
I'm very
comics.
pumped up.
Yeah.
That made this whole thing worth it.
Yeah.
But movie-wise, not so much. Zach?
No, I mean, I actually learned a lot. But I guess, I mean, it was cool to have Brian on.
Absolutely.
Like, Brian, you killed it. Like,
Yes.
I
Thank you
think
for having me.
you're coming back, man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have to
come
come
back
back.
real soon.
I feel like I didn't do a good job, but
No,
thank
No,
you.
you did. Next time I want to sit in and just learn.
Yeah, dude. No, half the time I sat here listening. I actually learned a lot about some of these characters more than I did, and it was just I had fun. It was fun. I don't know shit about X-Men. So, Aaron,
I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and it's pretty much the same exact thing I've seen over and over. I was hoping to gain like maybe a new either love for it or a new hate, but it's just kind of blah. My biggest criticism of the film is their handling of characters. They had like really cool mutants in there. They didn't give them their due, and they had like characters that they gave too much due, like the fucking pufferfish man that I can't stand. I fucking hate you, pufferfish man.
Porcupine Man.
he is pufferfish too.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to actually like. And Brian pointed out that they had
I
like
how they give them
Psylocke
their
in
real
here.
names.
I didn't even know they.
Character
I
names.
didn't even fucking know they had Psylocke in here. But anyway, so like I learned a little
Peter
bit.
Rasputin.
I didn't learn much. I didn't really gain or lose anything. So it's still
It's a wash.
it's a wash
This
for
one's a
me,
wash.
and I'm just gonna keep it on like the low end of my superhero movies. It's like it's better
Kid
than
Omega.
it's better than
Spike.
like.
Baby Squid.
Spike was probably
No,
Porcupine
actually,
Man.
I like Blade Trinity better. I do, but
Good call.
yeah. Anyway, so Tim, how about you?
I got really jacked for this earlier when I started thinking about it because me and Brian saw the very first X-Men movie in theaters together, and I didn't love that one right off the bat at first, but me and him have always had this shared love, and that was the first thing I think we probably ever bonded over.
Yeah.
And when I started thinking about this earlier today, I started really getting pumped at home. Like I texted you, I did our group message. I was
Yeah.
like, you guys, like I'm pumped, like I'm coming in this one hot, like because I started thinking about this movie and like all the good things and they tried to pump a lot into it, and there was some cool like, oh, I get what you're trying to make a nod at, but they did disservice to it at the same time. They tried to do fan service that didn't work out, miscasting, misusing characters. We ripped on it. but we got to talk a lot about the comics, and that was what I was really excited about. Is that we would delve into the actual storylines, and I knew that you were the man to do it, and I'm glad you fucking picked this movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't pick like a good one. We picked the one that was just
because of this movie, we got to go back to Batman.
Right.
This kind of
and like
the next one we're gonna do.
What Chris,
do you want to come on for 89 Batman?
Me and Chris have already talked about 89
I
Batman.
would love for Bryan to come
Bryan,
in for
come on
Batman.
for 89 Batman.
Well, you have to finish your story.
Well, what I was saying, it was Chris said, like, I love that Chris is saying, like, I want to go pick up some comics. I want to read some of these story arcs. If any of our listeners are like, oh, well, I kind of like, they got me excited.
This is a nerd out.
Yeah, like then I could be like, hey, if y'all feel that way, let me know. I'll give you the issue numbers. Like I'll tell y'all what to read. You can borrow it from me. If that comes out of it, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Because there's a lot of good material there. I'm really happy that Bryan came on tonight. I was really excited about it. So
I have a burning question.
You tell me.
I have a burning question.
Well, let's.
What do you think about this movie?
Bryan, do your thing.
What do you think about this film?
Okay,
I was handing it off to him. It would have worked.
I know you were.
It would have worked if you wouldn't have stopped me.
The Alien series. If it weren't for Tim, because I had only watched Alien Resurrection.
Save me, Bryan.
I had only watched Alien Resurrection.
Got a minute and 15 seconds.
And Tim was like, "What? You need to watch the other ones." And so it was like me and you with Night of the Living Dead, because me and Chris watched each of the Deads. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We had our old marathon.
Yeah.
You had never seen
So what about X-Men, Bryan?
You had never seen a zombie movie
wait,
before.
wait.
I'm going to cut you off, Chris.
1 minute.
Okay, so like in terms of the Alien series, like 3 is such a tragic ending to that character, and I had hoped that this movie would replicate that, and instead it just fell flat. Like it was just this like weird amalgamation of things that like it should have just been a simple story. Like all of the story is weak, and after watching it again, I still feel the same way about it. I still kind of hate it.
A big missed opportunity.
Your mind didn't change.
Yeah, and I hope Dark Phoenix, even though I doubt it will, I hope it does something more than this did.
Well, we shall see.
But you had a fun time in this context, though, right?
Shit.
Oh, here's the after credit sequence.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where somehow this fucking guy's alive.
And apparently, what did they explain it? It's like his twin brother or something.
But even this...
He says that's more McTaggart, which is a huge character in the comics.
Yeah.
This cheapens his death.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even the extra scene makes you want to die.
Yeah, because... Okay.
Everybody that died is alive.
Can I tackle this in terms of what I would have done?
Yes, absolutely. Please.
I would love that exercise, actually.
Okay, because to me, I find it odd, and I compare this to Spider-Man 3 in the sense that it should have been 2 movies. Like
too much going on.
Yeah, too much going on in one movie. And especially in terms of Professor X dying. I know you, Tim, you don't like all the galactic alien stuff in X-Men as much as I do.
Like all the Shi'ar Empire and all that bullshit, yeah.
However, like, it would have been nice if they were going to bring him back, that it was instead like a clone body in a Shi'ar whatever. Like, that would have made so much more sense. And in terms of Sinister, who I didn't know you didn't know about, Zach, he in the comic book, because he's so like, no, Cyclops and Jean Grey are going to have a kid. It's going to kill Apocalypse. Like, that is his focus in life.
Yeah.
He clones Jean Grey. And so after Phoenix dies, his clone just wakes up in a burst of flame. And he's like, what's happening right now? And he makes her a personality, Madeline Pryor, and pushes her to Cyclops.
Tricks Cyclops.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to have to continue this in another episode.
Okay, sorry.
No, we can keep going. We can keep
that's
going.
amazing.
No, let's keep rolling. Let's keep
You
rolling.
do realize,
Have at
like,
it.
you can shut it off at any point.
No, I have no idea what's going on.
Let's keep rolling. Keep rolling.
I just want to talk about. I want to hear him talk about X-Men, man.
But
Go.
This is why we have Bryan here.
But I was just going to say, but
I want to leave.
But
Y'all finish this up.
they end up having the kid who ends up being Cable, who Apocalypse realizes is a threat. And so he infects him with a techno-organic virus to try to take him out or whatever. And that's why he gets
That's
sent.
why he does the metal and
that's why he gets sent to the future or whatever. And but it's still Jean and Scott's kid.
Who makes the
biologically,
clones?
genetically?
Who
I
becomes
guess is what I'm
Strife?
looking
I thought
Is it Sinister or does Apocalypse? Who makes the clone?
I thought
That's
Sinister
Strife?
does.
Oh
all
no,
that
that's
shit.
the weirdest part. Sorry, God, I hate to
Because
get into all this
Strife
on a
is
podcast.
Strife is an exact clone of Cable.
Okay.
But I thought that like
Okay,
Sinister
in
is the
Days
one who
of
makes all
Future-
the
What?
clones and shit. I thought it was all Sinister. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does love clones.
Yeah.
Sabretooth dies a bunch of times after the mutant massacre, and it turns out to always be a clone of Sabretooth, not actually Sabretooth.
Huh.
But
I'm going to
I
step
just
out
learned.
because
Okay, sorry.
I
Sorry,
just
Christopher.
don't
I
want
just
certain
learned.
things ruined.
Oh, you don't want spoilers.
I'm ready to
Yeah,
read
you don't want
these fucking
spoilers. That's
comics.
Okay.
So
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to
Let's
step
step out.
out.
No,
Y'all,
we're gonna-
y'all
so-
tear this
so-
up.
Can I-
Y'all talk
Do you
X-Men.
want me to finish this? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I do. I do want you to finish it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Rachel.
Me and Tim aren't going anywhere. We're
okay,
here.
okay. Rachel, who is from Days of Future Past in the comic book,
Yeah.
she is Scott and Jean's kid, and she's who sends Kitty back to fix
When
the
all that
stuff.
time travel shit comes
Yeah.
up, it gets very convoluted.
But
Because
it's-
doesn't she become possessed by the Phoenix Force too?
Yes.
At some point?
Rachel ends up sending herself back, and Phoenix senses her, and so she holds her to the current timeline or whatever. And Rachel, in the long run, gets sent to the future, and she saves her brother, Cable.
It's hurting my brain.
Now, who is
hurting my
Yeah, I don't know if this is too much.
It's hurting my brain.
The Ascani, who is it that ends up actually raising him? Doesn't that end up being
Yeah, that ends up
somebody?
being Rachel.
That ends up being Rachel. Yeah.
And so Rachel ends up, when she thinks
yeah,
she can't...
Ascani.
Yeah,
Look
Ra-
it up. Google that.
Rachel thinks she can't save Cable from the techno-organic virus, so she clones him.
Yeah.
Apocalypse takes the clone, and that ends up being Strife,
Yeah.
who ends up being this really horrible villain.
The execution.
He's like the
song.
bad Cable. He's like
He's the bad Cable.
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
Cable.
yeah,
yeah.
He wears a red cape and this badass outfit.
But Cable is so powerful.
Very 90s.
Yeah, Cable is so powerful that he ends up, he defeats Apocalypse in the long run. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it
He's a
doesn't.
harbinger of
and
doom
he's
for
basically the one that
Apocalypse,
defeats Apocalypse in the Age of Apocalypse storyline too.
Right.
They call
Yeah,
him the X-Man.
Yeah.
Like he ends up becoming one of the most powerful.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
kind of the beautiful part. Like, if you see alternate realities,
Yeah.
like there's an alternate reality.
The young Cable.
I would
Yeah.
go
that
on a
wasn't
limb.
infected with the
Yeah, like,
virus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's an alternate reality where Professor X becomes Juggernaut, and it shows what an asshole he is.
Yeah.
Because he takes over the world.
Of course.
Yeah, but
He's fucking literally unstoppable
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
but Sinister is so focused that even in other realities, he always
He's still the same person.
Yeah, he makes Cable.
In Age of Apocalypse, same
Yeah,
thing. He's
yeah.
got
Yeah.
I mean, he's genetic manipulation
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's a scientist
yeah,
at heart.
because his concern is defeating Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because he knows what Apocalypse is.
Right, right.
And
Because
it's-
Apocalypse made
He knows
him.
the inevitability
Right.
of, and
Yeah.
it's Nathaniel Essex, which that's the teasers they put in.
That's the company.
the
yeah,
Essex Corporation and stuff.
So
Like,
I'm going to go on a limb real quick. I'm going to say that X-Men is the most convoluted comic book in existence.
Yes.
for sure.
And if you're someone
For
like
sure.
and if you're someone like Chris who's never caught up to it, or you don't know anything, borrow comics from a friend, borrow comics from Tim, or borrow comics from anyone that you know who will lend them to you and be kind. But also, you can man, it's 2018, you guys. Maybe 2019 when you listen to this.
just ask me for the issue orders.
you can-
Bryan could.
No,
yeah.
you can torrent the comics and then download an application called Big Pic on
Oh.
on your tablet or your phone or your laptop or whatever. And
We'll
then
tell
Big
you which
Pic,
ones to look for.
Big Pic will you can just like read your comics on your tablet on your yeah. I'll take one.
Fuck these other assholes.
But you know what? This is a good place to wrap up though. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Now that
Hey.
they're back.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
wait.
no, you guys can't talk. You guys can't
Wait,
talk on the mic.
wait,
We're
can I-
wrapping
Are
up.
you serious?
Y'all
Let's
can't
get
talk.
back and we're
No,
talking about.
we're
I
wrapping
came
this
in here
shit
to
because
shut
y'all
it
just
down.
nerding
No, you
out.
guys can't
Can I
talk.
say my?
Shut it down.
No,
Hold on,
it's
Bryan.
it's the three of
Bryan
us right
still has not read.
It's the
Let us
three
know.
of us right now. Y'all abandoned us.
No,
It's
no,
the three of
no,
us.
no.
Y'all abandoned us.
You-
All right, Bryan, final thoughts.
Stop.
Well, no,
He already gave his final thoughts.
Well, wait. You said I was allowed to say like what I'm doing in terms of other podcasts.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
please.
Oh, yeah. He does
I
want to
would
give a
love to hear
shout out.
that.
He wants to give a
Okay,
shout
because
out.
the logic.
Erase what I said.
The logic of all of this, beyond the fact that, like I said, I went to see this movie with Tim a million years ago, 12 years ago.
It was about 1,012,000.
Yeah, 1,012,000.
He was 30 back then.
1.2.
I whenever Dark Phoenix comes out, I'm going to go on Bits and Pieces.
With John and Jeff.
With John and Anthony and Jeff.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool.
Because they talk about current movies like y'all talk about old movies.
We're trying to fix that problem currently.
No. It's not a problem. I like that y'all tackle old movies.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
We're thinking about doing some shorts.
I can't wait to share that. I can't wait to see that movie because of our love.
Yeah.
As soon as I see it, I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
and we'll see if they do it better than this.
Yeah. I have nothing.
It can't be worse.
I have nothing. I have nothing but doubts, and I think they could make it worse.
Yeah. It could end up being really fucking bad.
That's the mentality that we have. We go into movies now thinking the worst because
it,
we walk away being like, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was because I thought it was going to already be a piece of shit.
No, Venom was that in a heartbeat.
To the future of the X-Men franchise.
Well, no. Fuck the X-Men franchise. To the future of these. Bryan, you are a new introduction to something we haven't done in A to Z movie night yet.
Yeah,
and you're coming back. Like we know that obviously because we were approaching 2 hours on an hour and a half movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna do this again.
We had a lot to get out. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh no! Don't be a buzzkill.
So let's cheers. Thank you, Bryan, for coming. And like I had a lot of fun.
All right, cool.
I didn't know shit about it.
Thank you for having me.
I've loved being a part of this episode.
Hope y'all learned something.
Y'all want to close out? Y'all close that shit out.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all learned something, and if y'all do, like Chris said earlier, he couldn't wait to read some of these story arcs. So
I'm
if
very
anything
excited
comes
about
out of that, then that would be fucking awesome.
Bryan will be back, and we will be talking more nerdy shit.
Until next time.